Oh, hi, everybody. Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, and the Seattle Sports application here on a formal Friday. All the podcast platforms, of course, if you're catching us maybe later this weekend. Hope you're having a good one, and thanks for being with us, even a little late. We appreciate it. It's a Friday, which is great. G. Scott's going to be in today, maybe more importantly. Don't tell G, but Sam Darnold going to join us at 7:30, new Seahawks quarterback. Looking forward to our first conversation with the guy they apparently now call Wild Ginger after a weird viral moment yesterday with him on NFL Network as poor Judy Bautista was just telling him to go to the restaurant, just go to Wild Ginger, she was trying to say. And the redheaded Sam Darnold, very confused, thought he was being insulted, it seems like, on the broadcast. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Here's what that sounded like. Poor Judy Bautista.
Of course, appreciate you, man. Have fun out there. Good luck.
Coffee
Go to Wild Ginger. Thank you.
You said what?
Wild Ginger. Great restaurant down there. Go there. Wild
Oh, okay.
Ginger.
I thought you were calling me names. I was like, geez.
Oh, no. Not at all. Never.
It's pretty funny, man. I got to tell you.
I didn't see this live. Someone sent it to us, but I went to their YouTube page and listened to the entire interview, and it's not in there. So
I think it
don't
was
know
probably
if this
beforehand.
was like a blooper later.
Yeah.
Okay, that
I'm
they
guessing
showed
that
later.
happened before or after, and then they were like, that's so funny.
It looked like he was taking his mic off,
Yeah.
so maybe they showed it as a blooper later, but it's not in the interview.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure she's just like trying to be nice. Hey, I've been to Seattle. You should go to Wild Ginger. I think Al Michaels is also a big fan of Wild Ginger. I think he told us about how he likes to go there in Japanesa whenever he comes to Seattle. And so, I mean, Judy's just trying to be helpful. Not that different from the conversation we had last year with Farrell Brown. Right? Remember we were talking to him about restaurants in Seattle and stuff.
He wanted good date night recommendations
Yeah.
for his wife.
Yeah, so she's trying to help out Sam Darnold, and poor guy thinks he's being insulted. Anyway, can you guys help me out this morning? Not just the two of you, but everybody. We'll have open phone lines later. Obviously, should be fun. There's been a lot of goings on since we all left here last Friday at 10 a.m. I'm going to need a little help from all of you. I've been, my investigatory detective-like prowess I've reached the end of what I think I'm capable of, and I need to now solicit the help of the people we need to, what do they call it? Crowdsource it? I need to crowdsource an answer. Okay? Maybe you guys can help me out. We got about 5 minutes or so. I want to try to lay this little conversation out and see if you guys can help me. It's going to be a busy day. We have a lot of other things going on. Got all the press conferences yesterday as Darnold was introduced, and we found out all the history of how he was brought in. We got DeMarcus Lawrence here now, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and we heard saw the back and forth with DeMarcus Lawrence and the Cowboys and what was going on there. So we got to dig into that. But for the last week, almost, I've been kind of talking, I think, pretty positively about everything the Seahawks have done this offseason. I wrote a whole column about it. If you're interested in reading, it's a pretty optimistic column on how the Seahawks could find a way to go from good to great by trading essentially Geno for Darnold and then getting a second and third for DK. No, that's not exactly how it went, but that was the net result of it all and what you could do. You got younger, you got cheaper, you can move resources, you got draft picks, you have the opportunity to sign some of these others. Like, you could put all of these pieces together in a really great way, and I've been giving John Schneider a tremendous amount of credit, he and Mike McDonald, for building this thing into the type of team that they really want. Why does John Schneider seem so intent on I don't know what the right way to say this is. Why does he seem so intent, almost as if he's distancing himself from everything that's happened and saying, hey, look, this isn't what I wanted. So yesterday he's got his press conference. In addition to Mike McDonald, everybody gets together. And then he also went on with Wyman and Bob, actually both of them together. McDonald and Schneider went on Wyman and Bob together, which was kind of cool. And at least with the Geno and DK things, he basically says, yeah, this isn't what we wanted. This was Schneider on what went down with Geno and his contract.
Yeah, we made an offer, and we thought it was a strong offer. We wanted Geno to be here. We had to be prepared if obviously they didn't like the offer.
There was no counter.
There was no counter, and so we just had to do what we always do, which is the best thing for the organization, and pivot to Sam or another quarterback or two, and look, everybody did a great job upstairs, I think, but, the coaches and the personnel staff, we had sat down and said, hey, if this does go a different direction, sitting down and studying all the guys together, can we make this work? It was like, absolutely. And so, yeah, and it's crazy because I remember telling you guys, like, hey, this is the time of year you got to really be able to pivot, and holy smokes, I don't know if we were ready for it, but we didn't plan on it, if that makes sense.
Okay, so, all right, kudos to John Schneider. Let me start there. Kudos to John and his staff. They had a plan in place in case the Geno thing didn't work out, and it looks like they were able to execute that plan flawlessly. Why wasn't it plan A? Why was this plan B? It seems like a better plan than plan A. Why wasn't this plan B? Or why was this plan B? It feels like I don't know, safer, better, more of an opportunity to win. Why is he distancing himself from this plan? Like, hey, look, we're psyched about plan
like
B.
This will work. It is a little bit of like a mini blow up of your team. So I think a lot of teams don't look to do that when they're coming off of a 10-win season.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Fine. But why afterwards are you like, hey, that's not what I wanted to do? We'll figure it out, but it sure isn't what I wanted. Same with DK.
Yeah, we weren't interested in trading DK, and that just, over several conversations, it was just evident that he did want to be traded. Both Geno and DK, these are business decisions. So, and because you sit there and say, well, why do these guys want to leave? You take it personally, right, at first, right? Then you're going to sit back and say, okay, let's just not take it personal. Like, this is business, and these guys, there's a reason for it. And it just was evident with DK that from a business standpoint, and he made that evident. Like, hey, I want him. It's time to move. His agent and I worked through, and Trent and Nolan, Matt Berry upstairs. We just worked through all the teams and ended up. I think that was last weekend. Yeah, and ended up. It ended up being Pittsburgh.
All right, what do you think's really going on? That's my question for you guys. I'll take text, 866-979-3776 all morning long. What do you think's going on? Honestly, I like the team John just created more than the team he was trying to create. I think the Seahawks are better off with the guys they've got than the guys they would have had if they had gone through plan A, which apparently was to keep both Geno and DK. I don't get it. So what do you think is going on? I guess we could start to, spitball some options here. Is this, I'll read some of the texts. Scott, Tennessee. John is under-promising and hoping to over-deliver, in my opinion. Okay. That's an interesting one. I'll buy that. That could be it. 206 says probably because he knows Geno's better than one good year Sam Darnold. It's you people that are drooling over Darnold for reasons nobody can figure out. That could be. I suppose. I don't know whether John would admit that. 425 says, I think this was plan A all along. He's just not saying it. Maybe. I don't know. It feels like he's going out of his way to really say, hey, look, we didn't want to do either of these things. I mean, especially after neither guy treated him particularly well on the way out the door. So maybe that's it. John's a classy dude. Maybe this is John trying to show class. Like, hey, they ripped and learned from Pete Carroll, right? What was one thing Pete was great at? Showing class when people wanted to leave, and they'd want to come back, right? So maybe that's what John is doing, is just trying to be like, hey, look, we love these guys. We wanted to sign them.
Maybe as far as getting guys to come here, too, you don't want to look like the team that's like, yeah, we didn't want those guys anyways. This was our plan all along.
Yeah, but you're the one who traded them. Like, you didn't have to confirm all of that. You could have been like, yeah, we just decided it was time to take our team from good to great. Easy. This was the best way to open up resources. And we like those guys, but we have limits on what we're willing to spend. The Geno one is specifically like, yeah, he wouldn't even talk to us. So it really makes it feel like this is plan B.
You don't think some of that's just like, hey, we weren't the bad guys in this situation?
Maybe, but I would rather my team be the bad guy that is really good at deciding what they want and just going full bore into that direction, rather than my team being the one left at the altar. I don't know. Look, maybe that's it too. Again, I'm open to all of these ideas. It just seems odd to me. It jumps out.
That's kind of where my mind went. It's similar to Mora in the sense of, is he essentially trying to do some damage control in the media because he doesn't want to come out and say, yeah, we want to know part of Geno, we want to know part of DK.
Why not?
That probably wouldn't have landed well with a lot of fans. Because a lot of fans are. You're not upset, but a lot of fans are upset about those guys leaving.
Not according to the little polls and stuff we've done. And Brock did his epic poll. People were psyched. They're like, yeah, this is great. Let's go. Rock and roll. We're excited. New thing.
Look, I'm all for this.
I'm less excited now than I was yesterday before the press conferences. Now that I've heard that John Schneider didn't want to do any of this, I don't feel as good about it. I felt better beforehand. I'm psyched about all of these dudes. I'm psyched about this team. I want to know why John didn't want to do any of this.
I don't believe that they didn't have it in their minds that they were going to probably lose at least one of those guys this offseason. That's where I do think maybe it's just trying not to burn bridges on the way out.
Well, that will make me feel a lot better.
We love those guys. We wanted them.
I hope that's it, Maura. I really do. And again, I'm open to every one of these things being the case. But it jumped out to me yesterday. It just seemed odd. Like, just tell me how psyched you... And he did. They went through all the reasons they're psyched about these guys. I'll play you the sound in Need to Know and throughout the morning. They are psyched about Darnold, and they're psyched about Lawrence and Valdez-Scantling, and I think there's a very real chance they're going to get Cooper Kupp maybe as soon as this morning. Like, that's awesome. And it's much better than what you would have had with DK and Geno. Just say that. Let's go. Rock and roll. I'm pumped for what you got. We'll give you everything you need to know next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob. Weekdays 2 to 7.
Your two most prominent players on offense said, I want out of here.
If you ask the texters, they would say both of them have attitude problems.
We'll see what Geno signs for. If he signs for somewhere in around 40 to 45, what does that say about how he felt about Seattle?
You got to put a lot of faith in John Schneider and Mike McDonald. John said, we're not going to do anything that hurts the team. The team is number one. The player is number two.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Through March 31st, save double your sales tax from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy easy zero down, zero payments, and zero interest, same as cash, 12-month financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com to save double today.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
I'm rehearsing. There are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply for J.D. Power 2024 award information. Visit jdpower.com/awards.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Michelle Smallman here. Do you want to be at the draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin? Travel Wisconsin is sending 10 lucky fans and a guest to the draft. Experience the thrill of the draft firsthand and make memories that will last a lifetime. Don't wait. Enter Travel Wisconsin's Dream Draft Sweepstakes. Visit travelwisconsin.com/draft to learn how you can win a trip to experience the biggest moment of the offseason. Epic moments that become lifelong memories are waiting to be discovered across Wisconsin. Terms and conditions apply.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Spring is here. Start your home improvement projects and save with Washington Energy's Spring Savings Event. Enhance your home with 20% off high-quality Anderson windows and enjoy energy savings as well as the modern or traditional window styles you love. For an entirely fresh look for your home, invest in beautiful interior and exterior doors from Codell. Expertly installed by Washington Energy Services and also 20% off. Great financing and service you can trust make Washington Energy Services the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
Making fresh produce and food affordable and accessible to all is a mission Safeway is deeply committed to. G. Scott here. Your local Safeway has all the great benefits that SNAP-eligible families love, plus exclusive savings. Right now, save 50% on Fresh Pass memberships, plus get a monthly $5 credit, free unlimited delivery, $10 of free produce, and double rewards. Check out your Safeway For You app for all details and savings, or visit Safeway.com/SNAP for details.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, it's official, all of it. With the league year now underway, the Seahawks could finally introduce Sam Darnold, DeMarcus Lawrence, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, everybody, and all made a very good first impression yesterday. Let's start with Sam Darnold, obviously. He's the new quarterback, QB1, here in town. Mike McDonald explaining what it was that has really helped Darnold make himself into a good player.
I think Sam's best days are ahead of him. And I think you've seen that through the course of his career. I was able to grow as a player. You know, talking to some of our defensive guys, like we felt him out there. Like when you play quarterbacks or quarterbacks on your team, you want to feel them in the game, and you definitely feel Sam's presence and poise, competitiveness. I mean, accuracy, all the downfield threat. That's definitely a part of it. And then being able to run the show too operationally. Sam can do it with the best of them as well.
All right, so that's what Mike McDonald liked. He's now going to have to fit into this Clint Kubiak scheme, and Clint was there to explain why Darnold does fit well into what he wants to run.
Sam's extremely talented, obviously a great thrower of the football. His mobility sticks out, his toughness, his maturity. I think one thing about Sam that really sticks out is just he's an A-plus teammate. You know, elevates those around him, and the guys he plays with respect him, because when your best players are your hardest workers, that's what you really strive for. It's what you want as a coach, and Sam has that in spades.
All right, so that's the Darnold side of this. There is more, right? Bump said yesterday that he's got it on good authority that the Seahawks are a finalist in the Cooper Cup search for a new home. Well, apparently by last night or maybe this morning, it was down to 2 teams. Diana Rossini saying it is Dallas and Seattle. Okay, well then Schefter tweets this morning, while the Cowboys did make what one source described as a push for Cooper Kupp, they are still not considered the likely landing spot for the former Rams wide receiver, per a source. So if I'm playing detective or maybe just mathematician and adding 2 and 2 together, sounds like Cooper Kupp's going to be coming to Seattle by the end of the day, and that I think would be a really cool experience for Seahawks fans. But it's not the only Seattle-Dallas story of the day.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Micah Parsons not happy with DeMarcus Lawrence after an interview with our friend Brian Nemhauser, Hawk blogger, in which Lawrence said this.
No, Dallas is my home. I made my home there. My family lives there. I'm forever going to be there. But, I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. So, yeah.
Well, Parsons did not like it. He referred to it in a tweet as rejection and envy, called Lawrence a clown, with a clown emoji, no less. Didn't just call him a clown, he depicted him as a clown. Well, unsurprisingly, DeMarcus Lawrence didn't like that either. He responded by saying that if he'd spent more time working and less time tweeting, then maybe Lawrence would still be there and they'd be in the hunt for a Super Bowl. So
I was pulling some sound from 105.3 The Fan in Dallas the other day of them talking about DeMarcus Lawrence coming here. And yeah, apparently they didn't say a name, but they referenced him having issues with another star defensive player on the team. So I think this beef was going on before.
Good thing or bad thing for, do you think this is a good, do you want to be on the same side as Parsons, or is it, because he's a little nuts, isn't he? Big time nuts, right?
Yeah.
So being on the other side of that doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world at all. It might speak well of him.
Also, is DeMarcus Lawrence wrong? I was born in 1997, a.k.a. I have never seen the Cowboys in an NFC title game.
Yeah, he seems pretty right.
Like, Dak's making $60 million a year. Parsons going to get a huge contract.
Not going to win here.
It's not a good team.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Actually, the third thing is pretty short. Rare cancellation in the Cactus League game. Lousy weather last night, blowing through Arizona. So tonight, what is tonight? Tonight is the
spring breakout game.
What is the spring breakout game?
It's where all the team's best prospects play in a game up against another team's best prospects. So the Mariners are going up against the Guardians, and all the headline guys are going to be playing in that game.
Awesome.
So
Sancho on the mound?
That is the rumor.
Nice.
I can't wait.
Will we get Ryan Sloan?
He's on the roster, so I would assume.
Nice.
And then all the usuals: Colt Emerson, Cole Young, Ben Williamson, Felnine Celestine, Michael Arroyo, Laz Montez, all those guys. So,
cool. Harry Ford.
Yeah, Harry Ford, Ty Pete, all those guys.
Did you miss one? Farmello?
Well, he's not going to be back till the summer.
Right,
so,
okay, so no Farmello. Right, he's still hurt. Well, that sounds pretty cool.
Pretty cool. And Durangelo hasn't thrown any innings in a game yet since he's been in the Mariners org, because he threw so many innings at Mississippi State they didn't have him pitch last year.
Pretty cool.
It's going to be our first look.
That's pretty cool.
And it's on TV.
Kraken will host Utah tonight as well. They've got Winnipeg on Sunday, and that is everything you need to know, which we do quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Yeah, I don't know. I'll keep throwing that question out to you. I got a ton of texts in here. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to read all of them. But, just essentially why was John Schneider, it felt like to me anyway, kind of distancing himself yesterday by saying, hey, this is plan B. I love these guys. I'm excited about what we did. We pivoted really well. I'm proud of my team. I like what we all did. But plan A was to sign DK and Geno. 253 says, John's just showing class. Saying we love those guys, but they made a business decision. Geno and DK wanted more than the Seahawks are willing to pay. Yeah, except he's saying in Geno's case, he didn't even make a counter. Geno just didn't want to be here. It wasn't even that he wanted more. He didn't even want to have a conversation. Yeah, DK maybe was, more just about money, fine. But it all starts with the quarterback. Now, again, I've always felt, and we've talked about this before, Geno was a Pete guy, and he did say yesterday, like, hey, once Pete became available, Geno became much more interested in leaving, and it happened much more quickly.
Well, we've heard that he had some leftover resentment from not getting a deal the year before, which is something the team just doesn't do. So maybe Schneider wants to put it out there like, hey, look, he was being unreasonable.
And if you go back, do you remember, God, I got to go back a couple of years. It was one of Pete's final games. Do you remember when Geno was hurt and they kept him out of a game, but Pete was trying to get him into a game.
It was what they put Drew Lock in, and he was very angry. Yeah.
Right. And if I remember right, one of the theories at the time was Pete loves Geno. John is maybe looking to see somebody else to see what this offseason might look like. I don't know. That was always a theory, and maybe that was a part of it as well, and Geno's always known. So, look, there's a million reasons why it could have gone down the way it did. I just found myself a little surprised that John was spending as much time as he was, or any time really, saying, yeah, this is plan B. I love plan B. I'm all in, man. I think plan B is great. It's just a little weird to me that it's plan B. All right, coming up next, Tom Pelissero has been all over all the breaking news, and he gave us a pretty good insight into how things have gone down, why they've gone down, and where they could go next. Stick around. That's coming up on Brock and Salk. Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
Who were the final suitors for DK?
Teams that were willing to pay $33 million a year for 4 years on extension, $150 million total. It was really just New England and Pittsburgh.
Every day at 7:45.
Good for him. God bless him. And I absolutely have no issue and no problem with him going and getting even more of that generational wealth. But there were not many teams that were going to load up the Brinks truck.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
March is here, and Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have teamed up to take away your car buying madness. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, they have the widest selection of new and certified used inventory and the largest savings in the region. Now that's a slam dunk. The all-star staff at Toyota of Renton and Kirkland will assist you with a test drive, and you can score that car the very same day. Come see for yourself or visit online at toyotaofrenton.com or toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien. Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up! Oscar!
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Get your yard game ready with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Ego has nearly 200,000 5-star reviews from homeowners like you. Ego delivers the power of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Best of all, Ego 56-volt arc lithium batteries are universal, so they fit all 90 tools. Power your yard, power your tailgate, power your life. Learn more at egopowerplus.com.
Star Rentals reminds parents to talk with your teenage drivers about the dangers of distracted driving and texting behind the wheel. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, or ride with a driver who is. Always designate a sober driver, use a ride share, or call a parent for a safe ride home. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors, online at starrentals.com.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on seattlesports.com.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims like Sean, who was rear-ended in a car accident.
They're just easy to work with. They're fast. I like the fact that he had military service. I can see a lot of Marine in Rob. He's very in charge, really gets things done. But I didn't have to do anything. He offered me a settlement, had a number in my head, was nearly double that. I would refer absolutely anybody to Rob.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Eddie's! I just had Asset Roofing come out and do a full inspection on my roof because I wanted to be proactive and handle any small problems before they became big problems, and they were extremely professional with their communication and recommendations. You really need an expert on your side, and Asset Roofing is on mine. Allow them to work for you, too. You can find out more at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at ProSculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's ProSculpt.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
Tom Pelissero joining us right now. I mean, when you say NFL Insider,
How the teeth look.
let me see the teeth.
Can
We
you
got them.
smile for
Oh
us,
my
Tommy?
gosh, they're beautiful.
So good.
Look how white they are. They're
so
gorgeous.
many comments about the teeth.
Yeah.
I swear in real life, like if you see me in person,
No, I
it's
did.
not. But then I see myself
We've
on
seen
TV
you
and
in
I'm like,
person.
those do look white.
Stop. We've seen you in person.
Tom, I saw you in person.
Stop.
Where were we in a weight room some years ago? you were getting after it pretty good on the college trail somewhere.
That's a great question. Green
Do you
Bay,
remember
maybe?
running in? Yeah,
I can't
do you remember
remember.
that?
Oh,
Yeah.
did you work out with Brock?
Yeah.
Don't do
No,
that.
but it's one of those you see each other in the weight room. You know, you're
What's
used
up?
to seeing each other over Zoom and
Give
stuff
a-
like this. It was
Give a little head nod.
What's up, big
We're
dog?
bench about the same amount
What's
too,
up,
which
man?
I think is cool.
Let's give him a quick little head nod. Cool guy head nod. What's up? Tom broke like every Seahawks story here over the last few days, which has been awesome. They've been busy. What do you make of the entirety of what the Seahawks have done in the last week, from trading Geno to trading DK to bringing in Darnold and Lawrence and everything else they've done? What do you make of it?
I would say this. Time will always tell on every free agency period because there's so many times year after year where those big free agent signings, the big money guys, the top ones, 2 years later, we're talking about them being cut. And that's just kind of the nature of the NFL. In free agency, if you're in that first wave, you overpay for guys, and odds are you're not necessarily going to get the bang for the buck. I would say in looking at what the Seahawks have done, I like the philosophy of it a lot. Because with Geno Smith, they'd obviously been going on a sort of a year-to-year type of a basis. Geno would have wanted a raise last year. The Seahawks just organizationally, they've never redone deals with 2 years to go. They told Geno that, came back, played at a pretty good level throughout the course of the season. And so in this offseason, they were all in on bringing back Geno. They made him a contract offer, and Geno did not respond well at all to that offer. So, this is all happening in the past week or so. I mean, that was Friday that the trade got done. But, in the last 10 days, it became apparent that Geno Smith was frustrated and thought that he should be paid a lot more money than he was. And at some point, too, with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas, the thought started to percolate of, wait a second, so we can trade Geno Smith, get a third-round pick, and sign a quarterback who's a decade younger, coming off his best season and going to a Pro Bowl at 27 for the same amount or a little bit less money. Let's do that. And then with DK Metcalf, that was not a money thing. There was some stuff out there that they were negotiating. That wasn't true. It was time. And it's something that had been on DK's mind. That's one of John Schneider's favorite players and, favorite draft picks. But you get to a certain point, he had 1 year and $18 million left on his deal. DK decided he was better off going someplace else. And so they worked with him to find a spot. So you trade him, you get a second-round pick in return. So now you've got a ton of draft capital as you head into this thing. Obviously, moving on from Tyler Lockett, that was something that had been in the works for several weeks. He had a big number. They adjusted it last year. He still could potentially come back. That door remains ajar, depending what Tyler Lockett finds out there in the marketplace. But I think this is what I like about it, is the fact that not only are you're gaining value and you're getting younger, but also you looked at a 10-7 season, short of the playoffs, but the rare 10-win team that missed the playoffs, and said, rather than looking at that and saying, oh, we're 1 or 2 players away, right? Let's make a couple more moves, let's double down, and we're going to get the 12 wins, we're going to get in the playoffs. They're going 10-7 is not the goal. We're competing to build a championship team. We want to build this in the mold of Mike Macdonald, who I believe is still the youngest or one of the youngest head coaches in the NFL. You got a new OC in Clint Kubiak, who's also a young guy, but has play calling experience. Let's really think about how do we fit Clint's offense and Mike's defense. How do we get the guys in who are going to play the way that we want to here? So you go out and you get value with a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence, who only played 4 games last season, but he's a veteran player. He's going to make a difference, from a cultural perspective. And there's also not many human beings that are built like that. You go out and get Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who's not a replacement for DK Metcalf, but he showed in New Orleans last year. He's still got the speed. He can still make plays downfield. That's part of the puzzle here. Schneider and those guys have always been good in the second, third waves of free agency, seeing the guys who are sitting out there and making moves with them. But I thought that, moving on from Geno and bringing in Darnold, moving on from DK, time will tell on all these things, but the philosophy of it, why they did it, the value they got from it, I thought was really impressive how they navigated some challenging situations. Now let's see what they do with all those added resources.
Tommy, you're so plugged in there, make home in Minnesota. Tell us about Sam Darnold kind of behind the scenes.
Sam is a great guy, just a very nice dude. He'll go out and throw for 400 yards and see me in the locker room as he's walking through and tell us, be like, oh, hi Tom, how you doing? Just like a normal kind of a guy. He's softer spoken. And really what they did last year in Minnesota with Sam Darnold was they worked with him to not put everything on his shoulders. They really worked with him to get him in rhythm, get him throws that he can make. Maybe ask him to make, let's say, 5 above-the-line throws in a game, meaning, you want to execute the guys who are open and the easy throws, but don't ask him to go out and 12, 15 times a day play hero ball. Maybe a handful of throws. You got to make a play for us. That's what we're going to do. But other than that, we're going to let your playmakers take the pressure off you with Jefferson and Addison, Hawkinson once he got back, Aaron Jones. And there were challenges there. Listen, the interior of the line wasn't good enough. They've upgraded that in this offseason. They just weren't very big. You saw that show up particularly in the Detroit game and the playoff game where they just couldn't function. But the other thing that was great, what they did with Sam was, he would make mistakes and they'd go right back to him. It was not, hey, you threw a pick, we're now going to run the ball 3 times, we're only going to have you throw screens. It was, no, we're going to let you go back and we're going to continue to execute the same game plan. And that really seemed to build confidence with Sam Darnold. I think that the most concerning thing and the part that didn't mesh with the rest of what they had seen on tape when they went back and were evaluating what type of an offer are we going to make for Sam Darnold was, even more than the playoff game, was the Detroit game, where if you go back and watch, there were a handful of throws in the red zone early in that game when the game is very much still within reach, and I think it was 14-6 at halftime or something. It was not a blowout, but he misses 5 throws, wide open Justin Jefferson a couple of times. Those are the ones that just make you go, that looks like the old Sam Darnold, not the Sam Darnold we've seen this entire season. But I think it was telling, even with a rookie first-round pick in J.J. McCarthy, they still made Sam Darnold an offer. It was a 1-year offer. It was not at the numbers that the Seahawks were offering on a multi-year deal, but they did try to retain Sam Darnold. He just, you can't turn down whatever it was, $55 million or something guaranteed at this stage in your career with an offense that should be pretty similar to what you've run in the past and a good organization that knows how to win. I certainly understood why Sam Darnold left, but they loved Sam as a guy in Minnesota. Is he going to be your, alpha male leader all the time? Probably not. That's just not him. That's not his personality. But you saw that video after they beat the Packers in Week 17 last year where they're hoisting Darnold on their shoulders and showering him with the water bottles. Like, the locker room really rallied around that dude. And if, Clint and Mike and those guys can get him on a similar path in Seattle, I don't see any reason why he's not going to be somebody that, even though he's not that vocal type, guys are going to rally around.
A couple more minutes here with not just Seahawks newsbreaker, but NFL newsbreaker, Tom Pelissero, who's on video with us. If you're watching on video on the app or the stream or YouTube or whatever, you get a chance. Oh, he's waving. See, it's very exciting.
I'm really here.
Will you be breaking one more piece of Seahawks news here before the draft that they've found some sort of a starting interior offensive lineman? You talked about the Vikings improving there. We know the Bears have gone out and improved there. The Seahawks need improvement in those three spots, center and two guards, as much as anybody. And yet there always seems to be some reason why they can't sign this guy, and this guy's too tall, and this guy's too small, and this guy's too old, and this guy's too this, and this guy's too that. Can we just find a couple guys to play in the interior of the offensive line here in Seattle?
Well, remember this. There's still, I know that it feels like everything's already happened because the last, 6 days have been so crazy, especially 7 days, especially in Seattle. But we're still pretty early in the process. There's going to be other players that shake free for one reason or another. Look at some of the teams that already signed interior offensive linemen. Could they trade people? Could they end up cutting guys that become available and don't count against you in the comp pick formula? There's a plan. I think there's been a misconception for years that, the Seahawks just don't value, John Schneider doesn't value offensive linemen. It's not the truth. I mean, look at the draft capital that they've used on guys, going out and drafting a Charles Cross where they did. They've invested in that offensive line. But, are you going to go pay $20+ million for a guard? Are you going to go out and sign Aaron Banks for that type of money? We'll see how it works out for the Packers. Banks, when he's been healthy, has been a really good player. But that's just they've never been a first-wave free agency team at any position. There's guys out there still. Mekhi Becton is one that jumps to mind that's still available. The center market's been largely cleaned out. That might be, if they're going to upgrade that position, that might be more of the draft. But there's still a bunch of guards that are out there on the free agent market. There's some guys who are being shopped right now that could potentially become available. I thought you were going to ask me, am I going to break a big wide receiver signing for the Seahawks?
We don't care about that. We don't care about that.
You can find those guys. Jake Bobo's season is in full effect out there.
Absolutely. For me, the reason to trade DK was always, and I've been talking about it for a full year, to reset the way your roster is built, spend less of your resources on the wide receiver position and spend more of it up front on the offensive line. But since we have you here, any chance they sign Cooper Kupp?
I think there's a chance. I mean, he's a local guy, really good locker room guy. They've faced him, for years, twice a year in his days with the Rams here. But there's a bunch of teams that are in on Cooper Kupp. I wouldn't say that, by any stretch that decision's been made at this point. It's rare for a guy who's 31 years old, which is older for some positions, but a wide receiver, guys can produce into their mid-30s. It's rare for a guy like that just to get dropped onto the market. Not that people didn't know what was going to happen, but he becomes available yesterday after they tried to trade him for a month. And then you ask, all right, well, why, if you couldn't trade him, why can you sign him? Well, $20 million and giving up a draft pick for a 31-year-old who's been hurt 3 years in a row is tough. Once that guy becomes free and you're not giving up a draft pick for him, I do think the Cooper Kupp's going to get some money in the marketplace. Does that mesh up with where the Seahawks would have him valued? We'll see. This is not really a top-end, heavy type of a wide receiver draft. If you talk to people within the league, we don't have several of those guys who are going to go really early like we have in past years here. So. But remember this, too. They've got a lot of picks, again, because they picked up a second and a third. They've got a ton of draft capital to maneuver around the board. We know that Schneider likes to trade on draft day. And we'll see. We'll see exactly what they might have up their sleeves.
Tommy, we got about 30, 45 seconds here. Two last real quick ones. Garrett Bradbury, is he a possibility? Somebody that I know Sam Darnold loved, number one. And number two, when is Geno's deal going to get done in Vegas?
I do think that Garrett Bradbury would be a potential option here. I would think that the Vikings will have some level of trade interest in him, but they did sign Ryan Kelly. I think it's fair to believe that Garrett Bradbury most likely will have a new home. Right now, he's still on the Vikings roster, and there's no trigger in his contract, so they don't have to do something right now. But certainly, that's a name that would potentially make some sense. What was the second question?
When does Geno get a new deal? He wanted his big money, won his bag, didn't get in Seattle. He's not even answering calls, not even texting. So is he going to get his big money there in Vegas?
It's coming. He's not going to play for whatever he's on the books for, 31 this year. I would think it gets done. It's probably going to be a little bit north of what the Seahawks were offering because they're going to want to make him feel good and Pete's definitely going to want to make him feel good here. That deal is coming. There's probably no rush on it at this point, but I do anticipate he's going to get an extension.
Is it a little odd, though, that it hasn't come yet? Kind of expected when that happened. It would hope right away.
The trade didn't even become official until yesterday. At 4 p.m.
Okay, so they technically can't do it until then.
And I mean, remember this too. Gino's got, I'm sure, an introductory press conference at some point here.
Mm-hmm.
I would think you want to do that immediately and not end up doing the Broncos one press conference when you acquire Russ and one where you give him an extension 3 months later and then regret the whole thing.
What about all the press conferences as he's talking about Wendy the Wendy lady, and it's time to move on.
Okay,
All right.
Enough.
Thank you. It's great to catch up with you. And thanks for breaking all these Seahawks stories over the last week or so. It's been super fun. We'll talk soon.
You got it, Phyllis.
That was Tom Pelissero, who's just on fire with the breaking news really over the last week. He has been right there with all of these Seahawks stories, and certainly there have been, a ton of them. We are 45 minutes away from speaking to one of these new Seahawks. That will be Sam Darnold. He's going to join us at 7:30. He's going to wear number 14. Is that right? He's sticking with number 14. They're immediately giving him DK Metcalf's number. Did I see that right?
Yeah.
He's going to wear number 14.
Now, who's taking Geno's number? You know what it is?
7.
Wow.
I'm on it.
I don't know if anybody's taking 7 yet.
Valdez Scantling, maybe, what's he going to wear? I don't know. Well, maybe Cooper Kupp. So that's really the lead in here, right? So we talked to Pelissero. He's been breaking news. Will he have news for us at some point today or maybe even this morning? I get the gut feeling Cooper Kupp's coming here. Don't you? I mean, just reading between the lines, right from the beginning, Seahawks have, been right there in the thick of it, and that was one of the first teams that we heard as a possibility. Want to make sure we throw some credit at our friend Michael Bumpus, who yesterday essentially said that he had a text from a source that he trusted very much that said that the Seahawks were absolutely going to be in the mix. Hold on, I have that sound. I forgot to put it on the sheet, which is my fault. But I know I have sound of it. Where is that more? Is it in 710 sound? Let me play you the Bumpus sound. So here you go. Here's Bump yesterday on Bump and Stacy.
But I just got an interesting text from a reliable source that says it's probably down to 2 teams when it comes to Cooper Kupp, and the Hawks are one of those teams. I can't tell you who, and I can't tell you the details, but I just got an interesting text from a reliable source that it's down to 2 teams for Cooper Kupp. He's interested, and the Hawks are one of them.
All right, so let's hope that whoever Bump source is better than the person Brock thought was Cooper Kupp, and he was texting with yesterday, even though he didn't have the number anymore. All right, so Bump gets the text. It's down to 2, right? Then that gets backed up by Diana Rossini, who says basically the same thing, and then adds the context. Okay, the 2 are the Cowboys and the Seahawks. Okay. Now, again, these 2 teams are battling yesterday in the press, in the public, and we'll get through that a little bit more over the course of the morning. But later, I mean, like early this morning, about an hour ago, you have Adam Schefter adding on to the story and saying that while the Cowboys made what one source described as a push for Cooper Kupp, they're not considered the likely landing spot. Well, again, I don't have to do that much math. If there were 2 teams involved and one of them, and they were the Cowboys and Seahawks, and the Cowboys aren't the likely landing spot, guess who is? This doesn't take a genius. Even I can figure this out. I know we try not to do radio math, because you start doing math on the radio, you're liable to make a mistake and sound real dumb. But I can do 2 minus 1. It's 1. If there were 2 teams interested and you're taking away the Cowboys, the Seahawks are the one that's left.
As long as you believe that report, yeah.
Why wouldn't I believe the report? Diana Rossini's not wrong. She knows what she's doing. I believe. Oh, Schefter, you mean? Yeah, I believe Schefter.
I don't know. I just feel like we've heard a couple of different. Yeah.
I don't know. I think these are all making sense together. I believe all the reports.
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes here.
I'm a reporter believer. My new theory, as of right now this morning, Cooper Kupp will sign here by the end of the day. That's what I think is going to happen, which I think is awesome. By the way, you turned DK Metcalf into Cooper Kupp and Valdez Scantling and a couple of draft picks? Yeah. I'm in.
Yeah, I'd be pretty excited if they sign Cooper Kupp.
Dude, he's good, and he's exactly what this. Like, what was the one thing people said when the Seahawks lost DK, right? So again, I've been all on top of. I think DK should go. I think you're better off without him. All these. The one big thing that I always had a trouble with in my argument was people saying, but if you want to be a physical football team, DK's a physical receiver, is a great blocker. Okay, guess what Cooper Kupp is? Maybe the best blocking receiver in football. A guy who's what is he known for? Going in and digging out safeties. He's like, what? That's what he does. That's what makes him so valuable.
Well, that and he's just such a security blanket type receiver.
Obviously, he's a great receiver. I'm not taking anything away from what he does. But at this stage in their career, DK's 4 years younger. Like, DK's a better threat, I think, right now. Not coming off injury, all the things that kind of devalue Cooper Kupp. But are you kidding me? Cooper Kupp is one of the best blocking wide receivers in the game, in addition to everything he does very well as a pass receiver. Man, that's great.
Yeah, I guess I just more mean in the sense of who he is as a receiver. DK was a home run hitter. He was, a go route type runner, where often he had drop problems and didn't have the greatest hands, where Kupp is
the opposite.
When you say security blanket, you need an 8-yard reception on third down. He gets it.
And it's kind of gives you two guys like that, because I think that JSN can be a lot of that as well.
Right.
And then you add in the speedster go route guy and long routes and long crosses and overs like Valdez Scantling is good at. And then you can keep Jake Bobo in more of a fourth role, right? Or you can let Derek Young, whoever's going to end up competing for those later. Great. Guess what you don't need to do now? You don't have to draft a wide receiver. If you can, great. Mid-round guy that you like, cool. If there's a value that stands out, okay. But you don't have to. I never wanted them to draft a receiver at 18, but this means you don't really need to draft one anywhere in the first 3 rounds. But if you got one, great. I'm not going to be mad if there's one in the 3rd round, 4th round, whatever. But we went through this yesterday, some of the needs that they have. Like, man, you got to get, we both agreed, Brock and I, pretty clearly. In your first 5 picks, you got to get 2 offensive linemen. You got to get a defensive tackle. And you got to get a tight end. If you get those 4 things, and then the 5th is a wide receiver, cool. Personally, I'd like the 5th thing to be a cornerback. Personally. And again, this all depends. The other story that came out from Adam Schefter, either late last night or maybe it was this morning, he also said, I think it was yesterday, the Vikings are planning to release Garrett Bradbury unless they can find a trade partner, which it doesn't seem like they're going to do at this point. This feels like those last desperate attempts of like, please, can we find a trade partner? If they couldn't find a trade partner for Cooper Kupp, they're not going to find a trade partner at this point for Garrett Bradbury, who just got replaced by a new center. Stop. So my guess is he gets released, and the Seahawks would be an obvious landing spot given his relationship, as Brock said yesterday, with Sam Darnold, and the fact that the Seahawks need a center. So if you could go into the draft without a need at wide receiver, and with Cooper Kupp already on the roster, and you've got a center that you like, all right, fine. Then you just need 2. And by the way, you've got a couple guys that can compete for it. I'm not discounting Laumea or Sundell or Oluwatimi or the other guy, Christian Haynes. I'm not discounting, or even Anthony Bradford, although that one would surprise me. I'm not discounting the ability of any of those guys to grow up into the job, but you got to make them compete for it. I don't want them handed that gig. Man, I know John, for whatever reason, saying this is all plan B. I like it so much more than plan A. None of this would have been possible if you had gone and signed DK and Geno. My God, the possibilities here are so much better. I love it. I love what they're doing. I really do. Put it all together, and I think you got a football team next year. It's going to be like, I'm much more excited for this team than what we were talking about last year. Much more excited. And we'll see what Darnold does, and we're going to talk to him at 7:30 and get to know him. But he's 7 years younger than Geno, as we've said, had a better season last year. Seems to be an ascending player. Yeah, there's a lot of risk because the first few years were real bad. But right now, he's moving in the right direction. And all the other moves are great. You've made your defense better. You brought back Reed. You brought back Ernest Jones. You got an opportunity to make it even better in the draft. I would love for 2 of their first 5 picks to be on defense. Tackle and corner. You got an opportunity to still make your offensive line better, which you needed to do. Man, I'm a huge fan. DeMarcus Lawrence, who's a dude, who's a physical presence on the edge, can't run on him. Man, there's so many of these things I really like. I really, really like it. Anyway, let's see. Opening day's coming up Thursday of next week. We want to send you and your friend to have an opening day experience like never before, so enjoy the whole deal. You're going to be out on the field for all the player introductions, the first pitch, and so much more. To enter, you got to open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab. If you don't have the app, text app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we will send you a link. That's all you got to know. And we'll come right back here with Brock and a whole bunch of viral clips from yesterday. What's really going on with the Seahawks? Brock's got some answers next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2.
What can Sam Darnold do that Geno Smith can't?
Oh, Sam's arm's better. It's stronger. Sam's arm talent is crazy. Geno's placing of the football has been better. When I watched the last few games of the season with Sam Darnold, he was getting pressured, and some of his throws were off. He doesn't feel comfortable when he's sitting there and you have big D-line and linebackers getting at him. The Kubiak offense should help him get better at that.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Every year we see a spike in serious accidents involving motor vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians occurring in the few days after daylight saving time. If you are injured in an accident, protect your legal rights with an experienced team of lawyers who know how to get results. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 to request a free legal consultation or get my free book on car accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com or in stores at your local CVS.
Our friends at Mazda of Everett always offer you their lowest price. Shop over 800 new Mazdas online at MazdaofEverett.com. Click on Get the Mazda of Everett price for their best deal. Shop MazdaofEverett.com or stop in and meet our friends at Mazda of Everett located in Everett at 11409 Highway 99. If you're shopping for a new car, make sure our friends at Mazda of Everett are on your list.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown is disappearing. Hair loss had me feeling like I was losing my identity altogether. Well, I've got some good news. It's a simple one-day treatment that worked for me. The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. It starts growing new hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly memberships. Those can help retain what you have. But what if you want your own natural hair in specific areas like I did? You decide how how much, how thick, and where. From advanced hair's state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class leading doctors like Dr. Perungo, it's not a maybe your hair will grow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185. Advanced Hair is the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and they are the team that I personally recommend. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, rolling along here, Brock. We are on Cooper Cup watch after Bump said yesterday the Seahawks were one of two teams. Diana Rossini said the two teams were the Seahawks and the Cowboys. And then Adam Schefter said the Cowboys are not considered the likely landing spot for him. Mm-hmm. Again, little math, 2 minus 1 is 1, and that leaves the Seahawks. So my read on the situation based on those three reports is that Cooper Kupp should be signing with the Seahawks later this morning, right?
Yeah. Cooper Kupp, the white male, 5'9", 182, 40-yard dash time in 15 seconds, average records clerk. I finally got a response.
That's what it looks like in your phone, huh?
That's what it looks like in my phone, yeah. When I finally, said, I'm going to stop being a creeper, and he got back to me. He's a Big 12, 5'9", 180, runs a 15-second 40. So we don't want the Cooper Kupp that I've been texting.
No, you want the actual
We actually want the Cooper Kupp, and I think it could happen today.
Okay.
I'm with the bump. I think it could happen today.
I'm just looking at again, I'll take your thoughts and what you hear behind the scenes. I'll take what Bump said yesterday on their show. I'll take the Diana Rossini report and the Schefter report. You put all those together, seems pretty darn likely that we've got a cool Cooper Kupp conversation to have when we come in on Monday, maybe even by the end of the show today. Sam Darnold's going to join us in less than 30 minutes, and we'll look forward to getting to know him. He spoke yesterday, which was cool, and we got to learn a little bit about him. I've been talking all morning about some of the stuff Schneider said. We'll come back to that in a moment. Let's start with this DeMarcus Lawrence deal.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Let's start there. It led SportsCenter yesterday. And kudos to our friend Brian Nemhauser, Hawk blogger, whose video had, what'd you say, more? 7 million hits on it?
7 million impressions.
That's a lot of impressions, 7 million. That's a lot of people. Yeah. 5.5 million of them come from the Dallas Metroplex area.
That's all right.
Yeah. They were talking about it on Sportsmanlike before us
that was
today.
everywhere. Absolutely. Good on him, man. He's rocked this thing. So here is the original video, the sound from his video that led SportsCenter yesterday. This is his interview with DeMarcus Lawrence.
No, Dallas is my home. I made my home there. My family lives there. I'm forever going to be there. But, I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So that's pretty great.
That's awesome.
All right, so he's just saying, look, I loved it there. It's my home. I lived there for a long time, but I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there.
I've been there 11 years, and I've seen all the dysfunction. We've hardly even won a playoff game, and now more coaching turnover, no spending in free agency, and and by the way, the Eagles are in my division. I think with this other team from Washington, that's pretty good too. Come on, man. I got a couple years left, and I'm going to go try to chase that ring. It's not happening in Dallas.
Absolutely. Well, for whatever reason, Jerry Jones wasn't the one who got upset, because to me, that's a shot at Jerry Jones.
Yes.
If anybody, this guy's made this place impossible. Nobody's going to win here. Well, the person who gets upset about it, though, is not Jerry Jones. It's Micah Parsons, who says, basically, he tweets the whole video and says that he's a clown. Not just says he's a clown, has a emoji of a clown, Brock, which is that's when you know you're really insulting someone.
Is that the one that's like this?
Yeah. No, that's that's more of a what? The clown actually looks like a clown.
Yeah,
no, it's a clown.
Yeah, I got you.
It's like a clown. Yeah. He called it rejection and envy, and now Lawrence has to respond, and he says basically like, yeah, maybe if you'd spent more time working and less time tweeting, I'd still be there. So now apparently the Seahawks and Cowboys are at war.
You know what we got, dude? We got an alpha. You say something like that because you're just kind of an alpha. Jaron Reed's kind of an alpha, right? Just kind of a guy, and I think that plays a role in why he's here as well. Not only is he tremendous against the run and just a big, strong, tough dude. Yes, injury risk and older, but, you know, being willing to tell Derek Hall and Boye Mafe and these young pups, like, come on, man, work. This is what it means to be a freaking pro. And can I say this too as well, Salk? You know what I love thinking about it, just big picture yesterday? I can't remember another time in 16 years where the opening of a league year, you brought all the dudes there together. It reminded me of Kalen DeBoer and now Jed Fish and what they're doing in Washington recruiting-wise. I don't want a lone wolf. I don't want to just wine and dine one guy and treat you something special and, you know, make you all no, you're all going to come in together. You all want to be here together. You all want to be Seahawks. We're going to introduce you all together. You're going to meet the media all together. It's kind of a collegial, kind of a new thing they're doing in the collegial ranks, but it does kind of, to me, fit with like John and certainly Mike. Like, it's not about any one of you. We're going to do this all together. And that kind of struck me yesterday. Am I wrong on that? Can you remember other times where there were
I can't,
three or
and
four
that,
or
and that
five
does
Seahawks
stand
today?
in some sharp contrast, obviously, to a couple guys that didn't want to be here, and I'll play you the sound here in a moment. I think there's something to that. I will say, I agree. There's the alpha element to it. Now, there are some challenges now as teammates all have to kind of answer for this or to this as well, and maybe they like it, maybe they don't.
It'll be gone tomorrow.
Here's the only problem with it. I want your focus here, not trying to prove on something that I don't want you like litigating what happened in Dallas.
Correct.
Right? Like, I just want I'm not focused on that. Let's go here. But if that's what motivates him, like, whatever. I just don't want him thinking about his ex. I want him thinking about what's going on here and not just trying to prove something to the ex. You're getting in the gym to look all swole so your ex is jealous.
You ever do that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm Betty.
What?
You know me.
You got all swole in the gym? When?
When
I broke up,
when my ex and I broke up 25 years ago.
What?
Yes. Started dating Heather and never been the same since. I remember apologizing to Heather a year into our relationship, and I was like, man, I feel like there was false advertising here. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I got all built and stuff, and then I haven't been to the gym in a year. Anyway.
You catfished her?
I didn't catfish her. It's still me. I just, maybe false advertised a little misleading.
Why do I never know this? I never knew. I feel like I know
told you
all your stories.
My goal
so.
was I really, really wanted to throw up 300 pounds once on the bench.
Right.
I didn't quite get there. I got to 285 or something like that. Lifted it once, never got back to that again. And slowly started losing all of that muscle mass. Yeah, this isn't about me though, Brock.
No,
this is
not.
about what happened yesterday. This is from Alyssa Charleston's Twitter from Fox 13. This is John Schneider on DK.
There was discussions, DK and I were having a lot of personal discussions. I thought we could fix it, handle it, whatever it was. And at the end of the day, it was a no, and he wanted to be traded. So we pivoted and moved forward.
What kind of leader?
We want guys who want to be here, you know what I mean? We want guys that believe in what we're doing, and you'd have to ask him for one reason or another. It was he just wanted to move on, get a fresh start.
Okay, so I love we want guys that want to be here, and I think that's a great message.
Face when he did that too. Did you see the video of him with his face and his eyes, and it's like he's kind of set his jaw like you do, Salk, when you get a little passionate about something?
You think he's passionate about this one?
I think there's a little passion.
I think for good reason. There is. I am still confused. I've been asking about it all morning, and we're not going to spend too much time on it here because we got to go to break. Then we got to do Need to Know, and then we got Sam Darnold going to join us at 7:30. So who knows when we'll even have time to talk more about this. But why does John keep telling us that this whole thing is Plan B? It just is. It was really. It jumped out to me yesterday.
You want my honest feelings?
Yeah,
about
because
that?
I really am questioning. Like I've reached the end of my detective work, and now I need to crowdsource the rest of it.
I think this will be the last time this happens, is you press into sign in a receiver, whether it's Cooper Cup today or whatever, draft, and you get to the draft. Like, this was the last of it. This was kind of a, I think it's twofold. I think it's a little bit of respect to those two guys that just kind of gave their blood, sweat, and tears, that being him and Geno, to the Seahawks, number one. And number two, it's also to show we weren't lying. Protecting Mike McDonald and all of his comments and all of the things that he said in the weeks at the combine. I think it's those two things, quite honestly. I think it's a respect factor.
Those are great. And that was one of the things I asked about an hour ago. You know, was it kind of trying to understand or remember the Pete stuff of like, hey, leave everybody on on good terms so that maybe they'll come back. You know, who knows where things are going to go, and that this was learned
they spent
behavior.
A lot of time. We love Geno. We love DK. We love these. You know, and I don't think he wants to.
You don't want it to be lying.
Yeah, this perception that you're just fools.
All right, I'll buy that.
Just manipulating everything.
Okay,
it's
good.
Like, no,
I like that. That's a really good explanation. I like that. Because I got to tell you, it felt weird to me yesterday hearing that over and over. Like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you want, but it feels like all these things you've done are better. And it felt concerning of like, well, why didn't you want to do all of these things? Why did you want to do this other move that I think would have been detrimental to the success of your team rather than the moves you've done, which I think are going to be really, really good?
Because they respect those guys a lot competitively.
All right.
As competitors, I think you respect them a lot, and they praise that a lot. And then all of a sudden our words don't mean that much. Well, no, they do. We just had to pivot in the market.
We got to think a little more on this. I like your answer. I'd like to talk more about it.
That'll be a good one with G in an hour.
We'll come right back with everything you need to know. Sam Darnold will join us in 20 minutes. Brock and Salk, Sales Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
By the age of 26, Sam Darnold had started 55 games before Matt Hasselbeck started one. At age 28, Matt starts to have some success. Sam Darnold had the breakout at the age of 27. If you want to believe that this is the right move, and I want to believe that, you have to believe that last year was not an outlier, that it was the beginning of the real thing.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Over the past decade, Washington state politicians have doubled state spending with no improvements to the issues we care about. Instead, we now have the third highest cost of living in the nation and a $12 billion deficit. It's time to tell legislators we need better results, not bigger taxes. Act now at affordablewashington.org. Paid for by people for an affordable Washington and Olympia, Washington. Top 5 donors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Alaska Air.
Dobson Stuttgart reminds parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Dobson Stuttgart, your independent Porsche specialists offering sales, service, and Porsche storage online at DobsonStuttgart.com.
Through March 31st, save double your sales tax from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy easy zero down, zero payments, and zero interest, same as cash 12-month financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com to save double today.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
At Lowe's, our members get more. With the MyLowe's Rewards programs, members earn points on eligible purchases. Plus, you can shop member-only deals for your home and business every week. So what are you waiting for? Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com. Like, you know to check you have gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously?
maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So if you want to save money, check Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Are you looking at diversification and stability with your investment portfolio, especially with the volatility right now in the stock market? Hi, I'm Scott Riereka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given market conditions. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Legacy's Northwest Fund also accepts IRA accounts as well. Find out why over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Get in touch with us today. Legacy's Northwest Fund returning 9% has limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and 1 unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus 1 unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus 1 unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. Adults ages 18 to 65 and older are invited to try out for the PSSBL this Sunday, March 16th at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at PSSBL.com. That's PSSBL.com.
March is here, and Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have teamed up to take away your car buying madness. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, they have the widest selection of new and certified used inventory and the largest savings in the region. Now that's a slam dunk. The all-star staff at Toyota of Renton and Kirkland will assist you with a test drive, and you can score that car the very same day. Come see for yourself or visit online at toyotaofrenton.com or toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien. Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, it all became official yesterday, starting with Sam Darnold, who's going to join us in about 15 minutes. Mike McDonald explains what he was looking at and why he brought this guy here.
I'm going off of what I've witnessed with my 2 eyes, people that we know that know him, that work with him on a daily basis, and then ultimately the tape. And the tape was really impressive, and all the kind of the resource or all the references that you're making contacts with, and this guy just talk about being a force multiplier. Just that's who he is. There's a lot of people that have spoken on that behalf, so that was a pretty strong statement.
And quite honestly, Salk, as I was thinking about this, could he have looked like any more of a normal Seattle dude?
Mm-hmm.
Converse, jeans, flannel. Like if you were to just draw up, hey man, just come in and be like the most normal Pacific Northwest West Coast dude you could possibly be, would you not have drawn up?
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture right now because he's going to join us. So I'm looking at our tweet from the station.
Yeah.
He's from sort of San Juan Capistrano, Southern California, kind of between San Diego and Orange County.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still see that.
Dad's plumber. You know that son of a plumber.
I have heard that.
just a middle-class, blue-collar
Is his
son of a
dad
plumber.
the same plumber that became a big deal with like
No.
Sarah Palin and all
No,
that? What was that guy's name? Sam the plumber? Butch the plumber? What was that guy's name?
That's a good question.
Whatever that plumber. That's not his dad, though.
No.
Are those the two most famous plumbers in America?
Could be.
His dad and that other plumber.
Yes.
I feel like they might
I mean,
be.
Mario and Luigi.
Oh, that's true. They're pretty famous plumbers. Mario significantly more so than Luigi. Luigi's not even the most famous Luigi anymore. He got totally overtaken just in the last few months.
So, do you know that Sam and I do have something in common, by the way?
What's that?
The fact that when Indianapolis traded for me, now Seattle signs Sam, right? But Indy traded for me. Am I playing against them in the preseason? Had an impact when I tried to chat with Polian after the fact. Yeah, like we actually get to see you. We play against you. The guys kind of can feel you, not feel you. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a little gauge of that, and the Seahawks certainly got a big gauge of that late last December against those Vikings.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, roster, more free agents and potential roster moves. Yes, Joe the plumber. Thank you, everybody, for reminding me. I guess he's not as famous because I didn't even remember his name. Let's see. It does sound like there's a good chance Cooper Kupp's going to be here by the end of the day. Yesterday, Michael Bumpus saying on their show that he had it on good authority, got a text during the show that the Seahawks are one of two finalists as Cooper Kupp was looking for a new home. Then we heard from Diana Rossini that it was Seattle and Dallas. And then early this morning, Schefter tweeting, while the Cowboys did make what one source described as a push, they are not considered the likely landing spot for the former Rams receiver, per a source. So a little math sure tells you that the Seahawks would be the favorite, and that would be awesome news today.
Yes, it would. I think this is all about structure and guarantees and just the dollars and cents, right? That John Schneider sitting with Bob and Dave yesterday, just talking about how one move impacts another move and impacts another move. And it's just the reality of it. And you think, what is $1 million here or $1 million there? No, it does matter. And it does matter over the course of the season as well, is in all these draft picks and all the moves you got to make. And heck, look at last year. Last year in season, the moves that they made to move on from people and inherit new salary and all the stuff that plays into that. But yeah, I would hope, it was last Friday that we kind of got the news with Geno. It was a Friday kind of late news dump in some regards. I would hope that this one is a little bit earlier than that because I do think there's a great shot.
It'll be pretty awesome. We also got to meet DeMarcus Lawrence yesterday, Marquez Valdez-Scantling yesterday as well.
Jones.
Yeah, Lawrence seems like he's got a little chip in his shoulder, which I like. Here he is talking about where he's at in his career.
My story wasn't done, so I didn't want to, pack it up and, say I'm done when I know deeply in my heart that I ain't. So being able to have this opportunity with the Seahawks, it's like a dream come true. Feel like a baby boy all over again. So, hopefully, it rejuvenates me, give me some youth, and I can go out there and kick butt.
You like the glasses look yesterday he pulled out? I did too.
I do.
It sort of made him seem a little crazy in a good way.
You made a good point yesterday too, Salk.
Sounds right.
It's a pretty salient point.
Sounds.
And that
likely.
is that these guys talk, and veterans especially talk, and they watch, and they take in information, and they know that system up in Baltimore, this Mike McDonald system, is pretty good for aging vet guys. Jadeveon Clowney and Van Noy and guys that can be rejuvenated and have a real opportunity to show off all that experience they've kind of garnered in this league.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
From older veterans to much younger prospects, that's what we'll see on display tonight. Game was rained out last night for the Mariners, but tonight,
rained out tonight.
Well, are they going to get another rain out?
My gosh!
Really? Oh, that's a bummer because this whole thing is pretty cool tonight. The what is it? The showcase?
The spring breakout game?
The spring breakout.
Which I'm pretty sure also got canceled last year for rain, so that would really be too bad.
Yeah, I mean the Mariners are going to have some dudes all playing today, Brock. It was going to be Colt Emerson.
It looks like the rain may come later.
Okay, good.
But it's chilly.
Las Montez is going to be there. Sounds like Jerangelo Ciche might pitch, which is kind of awesome. Maybe we'll get to see both arms being used in one game. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Who they play against?
Cleveland.
I gotcha.
They take on Cleveland.
what?
Kraken are tonight. They've got Utah in Women in Hockey Night. So my family is all going to be there. My wife and kids are all going.
Is that at the Iceplex?
That's actually, no. That's
Climate Pledge.
it's at Climate Pledge Arena. I'll be over there on Sunday with the family as well to go see them take on Winnipeg.
Wow.
And that is everything you need to know.
Dude, did we hit the perfect week in Peoria?
No kidding.
What?
Thank God we're not down there this week.
Wow, TJ, shorts, sunscreen everywhere, like last week and this week. Not nearly what we had. We could not have picked a better time. Just awesome.
Salk was right. Joe the plumber's real name was Sam. Sam Wurzelbacher, who passed a few years ago. Who knew? I was right even when I didn't mean to be. I can't help it, man. I am on a roll right now. I'm just right on everything.
Rolling.
Hopefully I'm right that Sam Darnold is going to join us next. Let's get to meet the new Seahawks QB1. It's coming up on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob. Weekdays 2 to 7.
Four-time Pro Bowl defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence is now a Seattle Seahawk. This will be his 12th season.
It shouldn't be a surprise from the standpoint of, like, last year, the first move they made was D-line, and it was to sign Leonard Williams. They're going to build up that defensive line, and, you know, it's actually looking pretty good. We still have a first-rounder from last year that has yet to explode.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Just Cause Legal knows the value of standing up for what's right. If you've been in a car crash, Just Cause Legal is here to fight for you. With aggressive auto insurance lawyers on your side, you will secure the compensation you deserve. Just Cause Legal makes the process as painless as possible. Don't wait. Time is critical. Get the help needed today. Visit justcauselegal.com or call 253-859-8899 and meet your legal lifesavers. Just Cause Legal, fighting for you.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Yeah, happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with the rotors.
Free. Really?
Really, free.
Okay, I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah, how much is that?
Free with 5 quarts of oil.
Free? Really?
Really, free. It's part of the A to Z savings event.
You might as well call it A to free.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business?
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
Opening day is just days away, and we want to send you and a friend to experience it like never before. Get front row access to the opening ceremonies, player introductions, the first pitch, and more, all from the field. To enter, just open the Seattle Sports app and hit the Win tab for all the details. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. This contest runs through March 21st. Seattle Sports, home of the Mariners, and your home for opening day.
Play ball! The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Bobby, who was hurt riding the bus.
The bus made a left turn, and the scooter that I was on overturned. Ended up having surgery on my back. So I knocked on the door of Warrior Injury Law, and I thought if anyone could help me with my situation, they could, and they did. They everyday people who work for everyday people. I would recommend this company over all the rest.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last dent. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last dent. Accurate Auto Body.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, and we'll get right to it. QB1 on the phone with us right now. Sam Darnold, new quarterback for your Seattle Seahawks. Good morning, Sam. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Well, I was just told new nickname, Wild Ginger. Is that what's the? Is that what we're supposed to call you after yesterday?
Hey, you guys can call me whatever you'd like. I'm just happy to be in Seattle,
Man, that poor Judy Bautista. It felt like she was trying to be nice. Next thing you
Poor
know,
Judy. Great advertising for the restaurant.
I
You kidding me?
And then you got caught up in the crossfire of all that.
Oh no, it's great. It's great for everyone. Hopefully maybe a little deal comes out of it. Get some free food from Wild Ginger. So
There you go.
Tell you what, it's actually pretty good. It's a pretty good place. I think you'll like it, and yeah, it seems like everyone here is excited. I've got people clamoring in the other room for me to ask you about the flannel choice yesterday. Is that one of many flannels in your wardrobe, or was that like, hey, I know I'm going to the Northwest, let's pull out the one flannel I have, and that'll kind of endear me?
No, it was a mutual decision from me and my girlfriend, and she makes a lot of the wardrobe decisions in my life.
Smart.
And I'm totally okay with that, and I also thought it would fit in with kind of the grunge kind of rock bands that have come out of Seattle. So I thought it kind of fit that mold a little bit as well.
You know your music like you know your movies?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I know, obviously, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, very familiar with those bands, and obviously very famous Washington, Seattle bands, if I'm not mistaken. I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong there, but...
No, I think you got it right. Yeah, no,
Aberdeen. If we're going to be specific about Nirvana, that's
Kurt's from Aberdeen. Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay.
But that's close. I mean, geez, they're a Seattle band, Brock. I mean, don't make this guy feel
Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, Queensryche.
Stone Temple Pilots not from here. But thank you. You almost had it, Brock. You almost did it.
Hey, as you laid your head on the pillow last night, Sam, and you wake up this morning, the whole car wash of everything yesterday, the media, the people, the organization, new teammates and everything, what was your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I think, like you said, just meeting everybody, I think the biggest takeaway is, everything that people say around the league about Seattle as a place, as an organization. it's all true, man. Just feeling so welcome, the second that I walked in the building. Obviously, I feel like the same goes for, D-Law and Josh, the other free agent signings that were there yesterday. We all felt so welcomed from the coaching staff, all the way to the people that we work with on a day-to-day basis in the cafeteria, the equipment staff, all those guys. So it was really just such a great day just to be able to meet all those people. Not sure if I got all the names down quite yet, but that'll come with time. And man, I'm just so excited to call myself a Seahawk and just make that home for hopefully years to come.
When you say that people around the league say that, who do you talk to when you're starting to make a decision like this, and it's a big one? Who is in your council? Who do you speak to?
Yeah, I think, I was just kind of speaking, generally just around the league, whether it's coaches, former coaches that have coached in Seattle that I've worked with in the past, former players that have played in Seattle, guys that are still in the league and guys that have retired now. Just everyone speaks so highly of the organization from top to bottom, whether it's, like I just mentioned, just coming in every single day and grinding with your teammates and that kind of every day to day, it can get a little mundane, coming in, Monday through, Saturday, you have the same routine leading up to Sunday. And, it's when you have good people around you and in a great organization, it makes it that much more interesting and that much more fun. And, and they speak very highly of the life, that you can live in Seattle, beautiful place in the summer. And, I'm really looking forward to also just playing games at Lumen Field. I've had a, few experiences playing in Lumen and, I've enjoyed every single one that I've played. And, those fans are electric, to say the least. And I'm just excited to get this thing rolling, man.
I want to get to some of those experiences, Sam. I apologize if you went through some of this yesterday, but I am curious if you wouldn't mind walking Salky and I and our audience kind of through this process for you, that season ends and everything unfolds and you go into free agency. Tom Pelissero was on with us yesterday, Minnesota guy that I know that you know well.
Yep.
Tom said this to us as we chatted with him yesterday.
But I think it was telling, even with a rookie first-round pick in J.J. McCarthy, they still made Sam Darnold an offer. It was a one-year offer. It was not at the numbers that the Seahawks were offering on a multi-year deal, but they did try to retain Sam Darnold.
So, Sam, can you kind of walk us through the process of the last couple weeks or all of free agency and franchise tag and everything else and how we kind of sit here today with you in Seattle?
Yeah, I think, right after the season, I was eager to, potentially get something done with Minnesota. Obviously, having the year that we had, I was, fell in love with, kind of that place and my teammates and my coaches, as you guys can understand. And, but, when it became clear that, it wasn't necessarily the multi-year deal that I was seeking, it became clear that I needed to start looking elsewhere. And, right when the Geno trade kind of went down, I knew that, Seattle was a potential landing spot. And, it was really as simple as that. There were, a couple other teams, as you guys know, as free agency kind of shakes itself out. There were a couple other teams, but like I said, man, after the Geno trade and I found out about that, I was very, just very interested in Seattle, and they kind of skyrocketed to the top of my list. And, I'm just, like I keep mentioning, man, it's just a very, very exciting time for me. And I'm just, just very, very eager to get in the building and get to know everybody.
So I'm a little curious on that because, all the great things about the organization, I think they're all true. I mean, I think everything you've heard are things that would be echoed by fans, by people in the media, by folks here. It's an organization that does it the right way. But from a quarterback perspective, I mean, you're coming in, especially at the time you signed, they had just traded DK, so one of the top two receivers, and Tyler Lockett, so two of the top three had just left. The offensive line had its struggles last year. What made it, from just not beyond the organization, what made it appealing to you to want to come and step into this roster and this offense?
Yeah, I think there's still some really, really good young talent that we have, especially with Jax and, some of the other guys at the skill position. We got a couple really good running backs as well that can do some fun stuff, whether it's, obviously running the football, but out of the backfield as well, catching the football. So that excites me as well. And just being able to work with Clint Kubiak, man. I'm sure you guys have, done your homework there, but it's, he's an incredible football mind. He's obviously been around the game forever, with his dad coaching in the league as long as he did. And I'm just very excited, about this opportunity to be able to, work with all these players that we have, this coaching staff that, Clint has obviously retained in Seattle and the guys that he's also brought in. There's so much exciting things happening. I think, it goes without mentioning, but the defense as well. Coach McDonald and all the things that they're doing on defense with all the, talent that we have over there. As you know, Brock, a defense can be a quarterback's best friend sometimes. And, that was just a very, all those factors. I mean, I looked at everything, and all those factors kind of, led me to the decision that I made. And I'm so happy and thankful, where I landed.
So I think people always love the human element of it, right? We watch you as football players and kind of evaluate all of that, but it's always the stuff behind the scenes. It's a lot of fun. I'm just kind of curious, did you hear of the Geno trade before the rest of us? I think that was on a Friday?
Friday at like 3 o'clock?
4 o'clock on that Friday. And kind of shocking, I think, to a lot of the audience. Did you have inklings that could happen? Did you hear that Friday night? And then how quickly, once you hear that news, are you and your agent kind of working to, hey, man, let's find a way to get this done?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I feel like a lot of these, this free agent stuff and all these trades that happen around this time, like, I feel like we kind of find out with everyone else, which can be, sometimes a little stressful for us. But at the same time, man, I have such great people that work for me. My agency, they do a great job and they do their homework in terms of talking to people and, figuring everything out from that perspective. So, it's nice that, I don't have to, worry as much. Don't get me wrong. It was definitely stressful, just the whole free agency thing and trying to find a good spot can be stressful at times, but I have so much trust in my guys. And, I was just, to be honest, I kind of found out with the rest of the world, Brock. And, that was a pretty interesting time. But like I said, right when I found out, I was, just very interested in the potential to landing in Seattle.
You mentioned Clint Kubiak and us doing our research. We've done a lot of it. We've tried to talk to nearly everybody who knows him. We talked to his dad. I mean, we've gone as deep as we can, but he's new to us too. I mean, this is something new for us. We haven't watched his system in action yet. What is it about him and this system and this scheme that either you like or you think fits your game? How does this work? Why Clint Kubiak?
Yeah, I think just my time in San Francisco, I kind of I got to be around Clint for a lot, for quite a bit, especially learning the system, and got to hear a little bit of his philosophy and what he thinks. And, it all starts, as you guys know, in that system, it starts with running the football. And we're going to shift, we're going to motion, we're going to do a bunch of things to try to create chaos on the other side of the football, but also keeping it simple for us as an offense. And then off of that run game, you're going to have keepers, you're going to have play action at the forefront of that. And we're going to be able to drop back and throw it with the best of them when we need to. So, there's so much that I love about this offense, but I think one of the main things that I love is that I've had experience in it. And that was also a huge factor in me deciding to come here.
So I assume you know the terminology already. You don't have to learn all new terminology and play calls and all that.
I know a little bit of it. I know most of it, to be honest. But he did change some things going to New Orleans, and but I'm gonna start from scratch. I can't go in thinking that I know everything, right? I think that's when we all get caught with our tail between our legs. So I'm just going in with an eager mind and just ready to learn as much as I can.
Sam,
and
he's
just
trying to
start
bait
with-
you.
Yeah, I'm just baiting you.
Sam, he's
Yeah,
trying to
it
bait
is.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, I've worked with this guy for 16 years. He's trying to bait you. I know what he's doing
Well,
here.
Brock has his favorite play call from his West Coast system.
Red, right, tie, close, C, left, sprint, left,
go
tree,
ahead.
U corner, halfback, flat. You know,
Right.
stupid
He
thing
loves
in the
that
goal
one.
line.
He says it all the time. Just to show off, humble brag, everything he can still remember
Yeah, it's
after all
funny,
these
it's
years.
Every former quarterback has their favorite play.
So
and it's
what's
always
yours?
The longest play they've ever called.
All right, let's hear it. Well, what's your favorite? What's the longest?
I'm just a trips right, I'll go special kind of guy. You know what I mean? And don't even need to put a protection on there. We'll just let the O-line figure it out.
Wow, a son of a plumber right there, Brock. Keeps it simple, obviously, right? I mean, just no reason to overcomplicate it. You're the son of a teacher. I get it. You got to overcomplicate things.
Sure, thanks.
Son of a plumber just
Yeah.
keeps it very simple.
I got a better exercise for you, Sam. And one, I'm not baiting you on anything, but I am really curious. You've been a few different spots, right? And I think everywhere you go, every different system, coach, and everything, good, bad, ugly, you take something from them. If you wouldn't mind, could you just kind of go through from USC to the Jets to Carolina to San Fran to Minnesota? What is something as we chat with you today, something from each of those places that you take with you? And we'll start with SC.
Yeah, I think USC, the whole experience, right? It was kind of my first time in the limelight, and just learning how to deal with, guys like you, whether, good or bad. The media can be tough sometimes, especially as a young kid coming from high school where you're not getting as much coverage as some of those, top, more like 5-star type guys. So I was, thrown into the fire a little bit there, and I feel like I learned a lot from that, and obviously learned a ton in, football-wise, but we don't need to get into that. And then New York, again, just continuing to learn from, whether I had a good game or whether I had a bad game, just being able to be level-headed through it all. I think I learned a ton about myself during that time. And
That's
then,
where the media
Carolina.
really got easy, right? Once you got to New York, the
Number
media
2
is
market to
really
number
easy
1
there, from
market.
everything
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, no, it was a breeze, man. I had no issues with the media there. They were all great. No, but then, Carolina, I think, and I say this a lot, but my time with Baker, them signing Baker and, deciding, okay, Sam, you're going to be the backup, and then just being able to sit back and watch. And that was really the first time I got to, since, I don't think I've ever, been a backup before that. Except for my, true freshman year at USC when I was redshirting. So just to be able to sit back and watch, and I really understood that, there's no need to put more pressure on yourself as a quarterback. There's 10 other guys out there with you, and everyone's got to do their job for the quarterback to be successful. And I feel like I learned a lot about that when I was in Carolina, especially backing up Bake. And was able to learn from that and actually played pretty well. I think we went, 4-2 those last 6 games in Carolina with a chance, in that division to make a run at the playoffs, and, didn't quite make it, but I learned a lot about myself. And then obviously in San Francisco, I learned so much. I can't tell you about all the things that I learned, but I said this yesterday, just watching Brock's process and how he, was able to, go about his week and study, and just the way that he kind of, if something wasn't there right away, in a play, he was able to get it to his check down really fast. And he was just able to play really fast. And I just always, I always admired that about Brock, and I learned a ton from him that way. And then that kind of, that year of just sitting behind Brock and then sitting behind Baker for that year before, that really led me, I felt like, to Minnesota, and being able to play patient, consistent football on a daily basis. And I feel like that kind of, and just the coaching that I had in Minnesota too, with KO, with Josh McCown, Wes Phillips, Grant Udinsky, just all those guys that were there in Minnesota, helping us as quarterbacks. I was able to see the game from such an interesting lens. But also it was because of those experiences that I just talked about, and it's all kind of led me to this point in Seattle. It's funny, talking about my journey, as quarterbacks and as people, I feel like we don't get time to really sit back and talk about our journey. But even talking about it, with you guys, I feel like I'm learning just something about, myself as I talk through it. So, I think it's awesome to be able to, talk about our journeys, and because, there's nothing quite like, as you know, Brock, the life of an NFL quarterback.
Well, I wonder,
especially, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I wonder about being. I'm sorry. I thought he was done. Oh my gosh.
Let's get emotional.
I know.
Jeez,
well, I'll try to make him cry.
Yeah,
Give me a minute. Let me see if I can make him cry. So you're the number
early
3.
for that.
You're the no kidding. You're the number 3 overall pick, and then it strikes me as you talk about someone like Brock Purdy, right, Mr. Irrelevant, and is there an element of, for a guy like that to be able to just come out and play free, that he's got nothing to lose, there's no real expectations heaped on him, he's just going out there and he can kind of do whatever because he's not even really supposed to be there, versus all of the expectations of being, a top 5 pick in New York City to turn around the Jets and everything that's sort of heaped on you? How challenge, or how much have you learned about dealing with expectations?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and I've just being a young player in New York too, like I felt like I put a lot of pressure on myself, like you just mentioned, but not for any other reasons than I just wanted to be successful. And I think for me, like being at USC, like I could run around and make plays, and I think I thought that my first few years with the Jets, I thought that I could just run around and make plays, but the NFL is a little different that way, right? You have some different dudes chasing you around, and you're not always going to be able to make those plays. And like I kind of mentioned with, my time in San Francisco and even watching Bake, like, first and second down, just being able to find a way out. And, even if everyone's covered, like just dirtying it at your checkdown's feet, like sometimes that's the best play. And not always trying to scramble around, make a play, and feeling like you got to, if it's first down, you got to get the next first down on that play. It's, I think just being situationally aware has helped me a ton. Obviously it helped me a ton last year with my mindset, and I feel like we'll just continue to, help me in the future.
Do you have any relationship with Cooper Kupp? You ever cross paths with him anywhere along the lines, any way?
Yeah. I talked to Cooper, last year, I think before the game, before we played them, and then, a few years before that. But, that's about the extent of the relationship. But, I'm excited to kind of see what he, what he wants to do. So it'll be interesting. I'll be right there with you guys finding out on Twitter. That'll be great.
That's funny. Hey, last thing, and just because you mentioned playing with a good defense, and Mike McDonald obviously coming from the defensive side of the ball, what is it, what is appealing about playing for a defensive-minded head coach as opposed to one who comes up through the offensive side of things?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it makes practice pretty interesting. If there's like a batted ball, or if a, defensive lineman gets pretty close to the quarterback, I don't think anything's going to be said. So that makes practice pretty interesting, and that'll be fun. But no, I think it in all honesty and in all seriousness, like playing for a defensive coach is great. You get a guy who really cares about, the right things. And you care about kind of the turnover battle. You're managing the game, that way, and through the lens of, okay, we're going to stop them on defense. Like, so I love it, man. I love, and being able to spend time with Coach. Yesterday it was awesome, man. Just getting to know him and getting to know his kind of philosophy on not only football, but just kind of where we're headed as a team and culture and all those things. Like I feel like he's the perfect coach to be able to, lead us to some wins. And man, I'm just pumped to get this thing going.
You think, last thing for me here, Sam, you think you'll get anything done with Schneider? Like, do you really think you two can work together? Because I was reading your girlfriend's tweet, maybe this was your last birthday, where she said she loves your goofy personality and, quote, your ability to, quote, any movie line. John Schneider is like that. That's his baby. Like, don't mess with him and movie lines. Like, do you think, A, you can go toe-to-toe with him, and B, any work done between you two?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll have to, figure that one out when I get to know him a little bit more. But I'm not going to come in, hot out of the gates and say that I can quote movies better than him. But
just be careful.
I'm pretty solid, and they got to come natural too. I'm not just going to sit here and quote movies for you, Brock. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not asking.
He's not a puppet,
no,
man.
No,
He's not a monkey. You don't just tell him to
for
dance.
Your favorite play call or to do that. I'm just saying, be
Jeez.
careful.
Yeah. I'm not your puppet here, Brock. Come on now.
Heard you're a big golfer, though. Excited to play some Northwest golf?
I am.
Have you played Chambers
I'm very
yet?
excited. I have not. No, I haven't played any golf up here, so I'm excited.
Well, I know you got a lot of work to do, and you got a new playbook to learn and all that, but Chambers pretty awesome. There's some pretty good golf courses around here.
I know Brock's pretty dialed into the area, so I don't know.
I know
Brock,
some
maybe you
people
can get me
saying.
on.
Yeah. I'll
right.
get more of your number, and I'll hit you up with some spots.
All right, there we go. A connection is made.
There we go.
Sam, we really appreciate it. Thanks for taking some extended time with us this morning. It's great to get to know you really for the first time, and all the glowing compliments we heard from people in Minnesota certainly show up in a first conversation. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with us, and we'll talk again soon. Good luck.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
All right,
Go
there you
get
go.
him, man.
There's Sam Darnold, new QB1 for your Seattle Seahawks. Brock, obviously a lot to react to, but just initial 10-second reaction, seems like a pretty good dude.
Normal dude, man. Normal dude that's been through the ringer. As he kind of walked through that and even said so retrospectively, wow, as I'm going through my journey here, it has been quite a wild ride, which I know I'm going to dig into in Blue 88 here with you in a second.
Sounds pretty good. All right, we'll do a late version of Blue 88 next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
Fourth down territory. Going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What's the film study shown you on Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
I like it. He's a player that runs his routes with effort. There are some guys who just look really smooth when they do their thing. He's an effort type of guy. I think he understands how to attack leverage. He's a willing blocker, and that's something you have to do in this Kubiak offense. And he was in that Kubiak offense. The effort is always there.
Fourth down territory. Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello. Welcome to Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name. It's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close, and they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. Adults ages 18 to 65 and older are invited to try out for the PSSBL this Sunday, March 16th at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
Kent Bowl reminds parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports like bowling, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Kent Bowl, a safe and friendly family-oriented setting since 1958. Find out about our bowling leagues online at kentbowl.net.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Build your business with a partner you can trust. The Home Depot. When you join Pro Extra, you get lower than shelf pricing and dedicated support to help you streamline your business and stay on budget. Get dedicated pro support for supply sourcing, custom orders, large equipment rentals, and more. At the Home Depot, we supply the support your job needs with the level of service your business deserves. The Home Depot. How pros get more done.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Hey guys, did you know that half of men over age 50 have erectile dysfunction on some level? Whether you have mild, moderate, or severe ED, West Coast Men's Health can help. We don't prescribe pills and hope they work. Instead, we treat the root cause of the problem with acoustic wave therapy, which breaks down plaque, unclogs arteries, and restores blood flow. We have treated thousands of men across our 11 locations nationwide and have established ourselves as a leader in the industry. So whether you have ED, Peyronie's disease, or suffer from chronic pain, such as neuropathy, carpal tunnel, or Dupuytren's contracture, West Coast Men's Health can help. No pills, no shots, no surgery, just results.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call West Coast Men's Health at 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewart is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to see you on the interview.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
Hello! 323 says, do you ever not interrupt or talk over guests, Salk? Shut up sometimes and listen. We want to hear guests. We can always hear you. I apologize on that one. Sometimes I interrupt guests because I'm trying to get to more questions over the course of the whole interview, like with Passon, where he just won't shut up himself. And so we're like, dude, I want to get to more than 3 questions in 25 minutes. I just thought Sam was done talking there. I honestly just thought he was done talking. I'm sorry. That one was on me. I'll raise my hand and take the beating on that one. I did not mean to interrupt him. I thought he was done, Brock. Sorry about that.
Some Hasselbeck vibes there?
Yeah, I thought you said it pretty well in the break. A little kind of Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas vibes a little bit, kind of the way he thoughtfully answers questions and kind of goes. Yeah, I do hear a lot of that. I think that's a pretty good comp.
Yep, pretty normal dude, man. And I think you felt that kind of yesterday as he met everybody over there, and there's been some humility along the way, right? I mean, I think that's some of the. It's interesting, these two Sams. Maybe if you name your kid Sam, they're just going to be a humble, sensitive, kind of mature guy. Because remember, Sam Howell, somewhat similarly, like just kind of very kind of quiet, just a great dude, normal dude. But then there's that line of like, got to flip that switch and got to be a competitor and an unbelievably relenting
normal guy, but with maybe a little bit more edge than say Sam Howell, a little bit more alpha than Sam Howell had, but while still being very relatable and very kind of easy to talk to. So I thought that was really fun. I'm really glad we got a chance to chat with him, and certainly makes me feel good about what looks like moving forward for him as QB1. It did go a little longer than normal, so a late version of Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewert breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
All right, Brock, when it was all said and done, why do you believe DK Metcalf was not here anymore?
Well, can we listen to a little John Schneider with our guys yesterday afternoon, the John Schneider show with Wyman and Bob, and he mentioned this a few different times, but I'll give you just my speculation after you hear from the man himself.
Yeah, we were interested in trading DK, and that just, over several conversations, it was just evident that he did want to be traded. Both Geno and DK, these are business decisions, so because you sit there and say, well, why do these guys want to leave? You take it personally, right, at first, right? Then you're going to sit back and say, okay, let's just not take it personal. Like, this is business, and these guys, there's a reason for it. And it just was evident with DK that from a business standpoint, and he made that evident. Like, hey, I want him. It's time to move. His agent and I worked through, and Trent and Nolan, Matt Berry upstairs. We just worked. We just worked through all the teams and ended up. I think that was last weekend. Yeah, and ended up. It ended up being Pittsburgh.
I think with DK, there was personal and professional. In the scrum with the people as well, John had mentioned that, trying to have these conversations and working through some personal stuff. And I think that personal stuff, honestly, was probably a little bit of Geno, of how is this going to work over the long term with me and Geno? Or is it just simply after 6 years time and time to find a new home, time to find a breath of fresh air, time to find a new organization that, is just I don't have the history with. I'm not swinging helmets at. I don't have a fake, accountability ball. I mean, just all the history of stuff here. And it felt like John was willing to we're going to work through this. Mike, we're going to have some new personnel, some new people. And DK is like, no, I want out. And more importantly, I want 4 years, $33 million, extended to my $18 million next year and get 5 for $150 so I can get a kind of a fresh start to start anew. But from a personal, if I were to say what were the personal reasons, I do. I think some of that was tied to the QB receiver relationship, as it most often is.
All right, question number 2. As we talk to Sam Darnold, where will he be compared to the most versus, say, Gene? Like, what will that comp look like between them?
Clint Kubiak hit on this one as well. I got a lot of sound for you today, and more I've put together. Talked about this, and this just rang in my ears completely, for me especially. Where am I going to compare him to Geno the most? Clint Kubiak nailed these 3 areas.
Definitely stands out on tape. Seeing Sam turn his back to the defense and find deep crossers and hit guys in stride. Definitely a strength of his game, one of many strengths, throwing on the run. To be an elite quarterback, you got to be at your best on third down in the red zone. And I think that's, too, where Sam really makes his strides. So that's the part we're most excited about.
Number 1, play action pass. Turning your back to the defense, but having a feel and a vision, the eyes in the back of your head. Being able to throw on the run. Brady Henderson was shooting out some tweets yesterday of some of these boots and waggles and things that are so important to this zone scheme to marry it and complement it. And then ultimately, you make your money in this league. And you heard it from Sam Darnold himself, talking about his experiences with Brock Purdy and Baker Mayfield. Third down and red zone. Red zone nightmare last year, unfortunately, for Geno, right? Maybe a game here, a game there. Got away from him because of some of those red zone mistakes. So third down, red zone, play action, those would be the 3 areas all of us would be watching pretty closely.
Just quickly, what's the difference between a boot and a waggle?
Strength or weakness. Kind of going away from the tight end to the tight end side.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Nope.
That's the only difference between a boot and a waggle?
Sure.
What do you mean, sure?
Sounds good.
You're making this up. You don't know the difference.
No, they go the other way. Yeah, no, they do go.
A
one
waggle
side
goes
to
the other way from a boot.
Usually W, and it's different in every offense, but generally W is kind of the weak side. You fake there and boot to the strong. So
I didn't know that. I learned a little something today. That's cool. Question number 3.
I tried.
Thanks, buddy. That's why it's a waggle. It's to the weak side. John Schneider's been around some really late career quarterback reclamation projects. Tell me what that means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of liked hearing that from him yesterday, too. And I don't know if we have that on the sound sheet, but he referenced.
We do. It's
yes.
Here, there's a little harder to hear. Here you go. Let me play it for you.
Consider Dan being with him as well.
Just
Carolina.
don't worry about that.
Yeah, you can't. You're gonna have to
it was
just
in
go
the
through
scrum.
that. Yeah.
But it was, Rich Gannon, that background with Rich Gannon, the background, obviously, with Matt Hasselbeck and with Geno. Like, seeing guys late in their career, why does it, you asked Matt about that. 26, 27. Why didn't it happen at 21, 22? Well, there's a guy named Brett Favre, and he's a late-round pick, and it's different for everybody. But, yeah, you just kind of watch them age like a fine wine. And, sometimes, Salk, if they don't have the right mixture in that wine, it's vinegar. And you open it up 6, 10, 12 years later, and it's terrible, right? It's just not every wine is going to age great. But if you have the right one in the right places and it's got the right kind of stuff to it, guess what you get? Perfection. It's even better.
Perfection.
It's even better
Wow.
the later it sits in that cellar.
That sounds
of
pretty good.
yours.
Perfection sounds pretty good. That is a late version of today's Blue 88. Sorry about that. Went a little long, of course, with Sam Darnold, which was fun. If you missed that interview, certainly you can listen to it over the weekend. Download the Seattle Sports app and hear it there. Or, of course, you could always find it at our website, seattlesports.com. Speaking of the app, with opening day, Brock, pretty soon.
Less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks away.
13 days.
Well, we want to send you and a friend to have an opening day experience unlike any other. You can enjoy the player introductions, the first pitch, so much more, all from on the field. On the field.
On the field.
On the field. During the whole deal. So to enter, you got to open the Seattle Sports app, which we were just talking about. Click the Win tab, and you can find out how. If you don't already have the app, shame on you. But text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download. And yes, you can enter every single day. All right. Coming up, we'll give you guys everything you need to know before G. Scott pops in. How close is Cooper Kupp to signing in Seattle? A whole lot of news seems to be pointing that way. We'll give it to you next on Brock and Salk.
When you're running the hurry up and don't have time for your favorite Seattle sports shows, listen to the podcast on demand.
How about that? Unbelievable. Who would have thought?
Every hour, every interview, every look behind the scenes.
He is your new Seahawks head coach, Mike McDonald.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Find us on seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you get podcasts.
All signs continue to point to it being the right hire.
Never miss a minute of Seattle sports, the home of the Seahawks.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin D3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my superhydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
March is here, and Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have teamed up to take away your car buying madness. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, they have the widest selection of new and certified used inventory and the largest savings in the region. Now that's a slam dunk. The all-star staff at Toyota of Renton and Kirkland will assist you with a test drive, and you can score that car the very same day. Come see for yourself or visit online at toyotaofrenton.com or toyotaofkirkland.com.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Just Cause Legal knows the value of standing up for what's right. If you've been involved in a car crash, Just Cause Legal is here to fight for you with an aggressive team dedicated to securing the compensation you deserve. Just Cause Legal makes the process as painless as possible. Don't wait. Time is critical. Get the help needed today. Visit justcauselegal.com or call 253-859-8899 and meet your legal lifesavers. Just Cause Legal. Fighting for you.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
We got to meet Sam Darnold in the last hour, and quite frankly, it was fun. Everything that we've heard about him, Brock, normal dude. It's exactly what he seemed like, and just chatting with him, like, had a little presence. You could tell that he's had an interesting journey and learned a lot throughout it, and seems to be in a much better place now than I'm sure he was 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Pretty hard to talk to that guy for a half hour like that and not come away impressed.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of teammates through the years and all those different spots have very much enjoyed him. It just kind of struck me. He's a SoCal, more West Coast Matt Hasselbeck. Mm-hmm. If Matt had not grown up with that silver spoon in his mouth in the Northeast like you and have that little wit and everything else that he's got, he's just, son of a plumber, West Coast, just kind of open book. I think he's going to be an open book. Much more transparent than, because of all of that QB life experience. Much more transparent than most.
Well, here's Mike McDonald on why they wanted to bring him here.
I think Sam's best days are ahead of him, and I think you've seen that through the course of his career. I was able to grow as a player. Talking to some of our defensive guys, like we felt him out there. Like when you play quarterbacks or quarterbacks on your team, you want to feel them in the game, and you definitely feel Sam's presence and poise, competitiveness. I mean, accuracy, all the downfield threat. That's definitely a part of it. And then being able to run the show too operationally. Sam can do it with the best of them as well.
So a lot of reasons, I would say, to like what the Seahawks did. It wasn't the only thing they did, and it's worth talking about everything else that went down yesterday as well, because this wasn't just the Sam Darnold show. Had the opportunity for the media to talk to DeMarcus Lawrence and to Marquez Valdez-Scantling and others.
Josh Jones.
With Lawrence, obviously, this blows up into this huge deal yesterday. So he goes on with our friend Brian Nemhaus, our Hawk blogger, and he asks him, about coming here from Dallas.
No, Dallas is my home. I made my home there. My family lives there. I'm forever going to be there. But, I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. So, yeah.
Well, that video blows up. Over 7 million impressions. It leads off SportsCenter. Kudos to Brian, who gets his name and his brand put right on there on the beginning of SportsCenter, which is awesome. And it gets a reply from Micah Parsons, of all people. Now, Maura said that she had been listening to 105.3 The Fan down in Dallas, and they were suggesting that there was a little issue between two of the players.
Already some beef.
Yeah, and so now I guess maybe we know who it is. Parsons called it a rejection and envy situation and called Lawrence a clown with a clown emoji. There were some curse words in there as well. Fighting words. Lawrence responds by telling him if he had spent more time working and less time tweeting, he'd still be there. What do we think?
Just great drama, great business in the NFL. And you know what? A week from now, nobody will probably
but in 10 minutes, we're definitely going to ask G. Scott about this, because if anybody's got a girlfriend, ex-girlfriend analogy to make, that would be G. Scott, and he's coming up in 10 minutes.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Brock, when's this Cooper Kupp news going to come down? Just trying to go through all of the news from yesterday. Well, it's not even just to me, it's kind of more of like a simple arithmetic problem, trying to figure out where Cooper Kupp is going to go. So this starts yesterday with Michael Bumpus, right? So Bump is on Bump and Stacy. He says this.
I just got an interesting text from a reliable source that says it's probably down to 2 teams when it comes to Cooper Kupp, and the Hawks are one of those teams. I can't tell you who, and I can't tell you the details, but I just got an interesting text from a reliable source that is down to 2 teams for Cooper Kupp. He's interested, and the Hawks are one of them.
All right, so if they're one of the 2 teams, and then Diana Rossini last night said they're also 2 teams. One of them is the Seahawks, the other is the Cowboys. And then this morning, you get this one from Schefter saying, well, the Cowboys made a push for Cooper Kupp. They are still not considered the likely landing spot. Well, if there were 2 teams, and one of them was the Cowboys, the other was the Seahawks, and you remove one of them, the Cowboys, doesn't that leave the Seahawks?
It does, but as Sam Darnold said, all this is just crazy until it's officially done and out, and one of the guys actually tweeting it, you don't really know.
Yeah.
And you also don't know how free agency unwinds.
Well, and I'm not saying we know, but certainly if you want Cooper Kupp here, there's a lot of smoke there, and a lot of arrows pointing.
A lot of smoke.
Yeah.
Bring him home.
Let's hope there's some fire by the end of the morning.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Weird to see the Mariners canceled last night in Arizona. No, not for something they said, just because of the weather. Rare Cactus League cancellation game last night.
And you sent me Dan Wilson crap last night.
Come on, that was funny.
That was too late. I'm like, what? Oh, gosh.
I saw
all this news. Dan Wilson's got guns and illegal guns.
It's a different Dan Wilson.
Thanks.
Yeah, but it came out yesterday, and I was shocked by it when I saw it. I thought you'd appreciate that. Yes. Tonight is I keep forgetting the name of this, Lyle. The
Spring Breakout game.
Thank you. The Spring Breakout game. So This is the opportunity for all of the best young prospects in the game to compete against each other. The Mariners take on the Guardians. Should get a chance to see Saintja pitch, the switch pitcher. Should get a chance to see the other young pitcher, Ryan Sloan. He's on the roster. Plus Colt Emerson and Cole Young, Las Montez, Harry Ford, Michael Arroyo.
Gosh, we know them all by
Ty
name.
Pete,
Belnine Celestine.
It's all of the Mariners' top 12 prospects in the game, with the exception of Johnny Farmello, because he's still injured.
Right. Yeah. Well, that sounds pretty sweet.
Pretty cool.
Logan Evans.
Yeah, he's in there. Brandon Garcia's in there.
That's pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, I'm into that.
Keep the rain away.
My family will be at Women in Hockey Night tonight as the Kraken host the Utah Hockey Club. Avery very confused about the idea of the Utah Hockey Club. She's like, Are they a real team?
Right. And
Yeah,
why
they're a
they
real
have
team.
Why do they got more points than the Kraken do?
Right,
in
for a team,
expansion
they don't
year?
even have a name, but
Not
they've
even a
got
mascot.
points.
Not even a mascot.
I kind of like Utah Hockey Club. I think it's fine. You don't like it?
No.
Why? I liked when they were just the Washington football team. I think they should have stuck with that. It's better than the Commanders.
Stupid.
No?
No, Salk.
What do you prefer, Lyle? Do you
How are
prefer-
you going to sell gear for the Utah Hockey Club?
I don't know. Their
a bunch of
uniforms look
suits.
Sweet.
What are you going to? What
I
are the
like their
fans going to wear?
uniforms. I think they look good.
How are you going to bring people in? How are you going to market?
I think it looks awesome.
The
Like I
club?
have no. Yeah, you're above all that.
We in the club?
You're above all that. I think
No,
it's
you're
awesome.
not.
Really?
I like the Commanders better than the Washington football
Really?
team. Yeah.
I still call them the Washington football team because I can never remember which one are the Commanders and which ones are the Guardians. Anyway, they've also got Winnipeg. That's the Jets, and that will be on Sunday. That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour here.
Did BB&N
on
have a
Broncos
mascot?
Central. We
or
were the
you guys
Knights.
just the
No, we
BB&N?
were the Knights.
Oh, you were the Knights.
We were the Knights. Yes.
It's more fearsome than the purple kangaroos.
No, I don't know. Kangaroos are tough, man. You don't want to mess with those. Now, I guess a knight has the armor, the sword, all of that.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they've got an edge probably against a purple kangaroo, but there's sort of a trippy element to the purple
Speaking
kangaroo.
of an
No,
edge, I feel like G's going to come in here.
I thought you were going to go. Speaking of swords, did you see who was it yesterday? Was that
the
Seiya Suzuki?
Suzuki, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was hitting baseballs with a samurai sword? Dude, that was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
I saw that, and I saw I guess because we're talking about Japanese baseball players, that the three great pitchers on the Dodgers, three great Japanese pitchers, because they're all going to Japan, were hosting a huge mandatory sushi party dinner for the entire team.
Wow.
I bet that's insane. Can you imagine how insane that is? Lyle might have to learn to use chopsticks for something like that. G. Scott is in next, and he's got a lot to say. It's Brock and Salk, CL Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2.
Veteran wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling is signing with the Seahawks on a one-year deal worth up to $5.5 million. What do you make of this one?
No, I like it. I'm not mad at this. People are going to be underwhelmed, but this is the type of receiver that you need. 6'4", 206 pounds. You have a big outside receiver that can hold safeties responsible, and I guarantee you they're going to grab a receiver in the draft.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades with no cost until close. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Protein, protein, protein. Everyone is trying to get protein in their diet, but we need fats too. Healthy fat, that is, like the rich, natural peanut and almond butters found at G2G protein bars. Most bars don't have it because, well, most bars aren't real food or refrigerated. Fortunately for you, we aren't most bars. At G2G, you'll find a balanced helping of protein and healthy fat. The fact that they're delicious is just the bonus. They're fast, easy, and perfect for on-the-go families. G2G protein bars. Find them in the refrigerated section at Costco.
Did you know that your windows and doors are your main source of energy loss?
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, our windows with triple weather stripping and gasket seals are up to 25% more efficient than Energy Star standards. LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, T-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Don't waste time trying to get rid of your old or broken car. Cars for Kids is the easiest and fastest way to donate your car and get a tax deduction. Go to carsforkids.org today. That's cars with a K.
Shane Company engagement rings are expertly crafted to fit both your style and your lifestyle.
My wife's an artist and works with her hands. Shane Company helped me create a ring that's beautiful and sleek. She loves it.
Shane Company rings are crafted with care using high-quality materials, and we set each center stone by hand in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store. We also protect your ring, including the center stone, with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Let us help you find your perfect ring, in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Swedish Cyberknife has been serving the Pacific Northwest with innovative and compassionate care since 2006. The Cyberknife system, with advanced tracking technology and robotic design, keeps the radiation on target even with tumor or patient movement. Being able to precisely and accurately deliver radiation makes a difference in terms of controlling cancer and reducing the risk of side effects. And the treatment is completed in only 5 sessions, lasting less than an hour. But the technology is only half the story. The skilled and dedicated team of providers and caregivers match the technology by providing unparalleled, personalized treatment plans and compassionate care. They are committed to patient-focused care, partnering with the patient and their families. The results speak for themselves. Patient surveys consistently give Swedish Cyberknife the highest of rankings. When diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. With thousands of full replacements with expert craftsmanship and unbeatable warranties, we've been building roofs you can trust for over 5 decades. It's more than just a job, it's our promise to you. Protect your investment with a free Golden Pledge warranty on all GAF roof replacements over $15,000. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hi, this is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. Spring has sprung. Need color to brighten up your yard or privacy trees to keep your neighbors guessing? Now is the time to buy. With hundreds of trees arriving in the nursery daily, Big Trees has the perfect tree for you. Check out our updated inventory list online at bigtreesupply.com or come visit the nursery today.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, G. Scott's here. As I'm sure you know from the music, it's Friday, it's 8:30, and we knew we were going to need a lot of time with G today with everything that's happened. Man, we talked to you at 7:30 last week. We were done at, 7:45. Since then, the world has been, turned on its axis. Everything is different. What has the last week been like in G. Scott's world?
Exciting. Exciting and brand new. I am so pumped up. First, we got a quarterback, y'all. We got a quarterback that I'm about to buy his jersey.
Really?
I haven't bought a Seahawk jersey for a quarterback since 2009. Matt Hasselbeck is the last quarterback that I've donned that jersey. And let me tell you something about Sam Darnold. First of all, let me just say this.
Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold. I said Sam Darnold?
A little bit.
It was kind of ish.
And I thought I saw a bedazzled 3 Russell Wilson jersey you rocking early.
No? You never had a bedazzled 3?
No, you didn't. I have Wendy the cafeteria lady's jersey before I have that.
Wendy the Wendy lady to you.
Yeah, so I just want to just give a props to Brock and Salk. Your guys' interview with Sam Darnold was excellent. You guys do a really good job. I love how you guys started the interview off asking him about the flannel. And I want to just say something about the flannel. No, I'm being serious. Like, because you guys, you notice that I keep talking about the flannel. I'm going to tell you what the flannel did for me. We have a quarterback that can read the room. We have a quarterback that is, you can tell, that is willing to really be a leader, willing to be the Matt Hasselbeck, that I remember that guy, that used to just really vibe with the city and the team. Now, the play is the play, Brock. You know that as a quarterback. You know being a quarterback is the hardest position in the world. Not only are you the player, but you are the CEO and the face of the team. Him pulling up in that flannel, by the way, shout out to his girlfriend for helping him make that decision. Him pulling up in the flannel, I bet he knows how to say the word Puyallup the right way. I bet he has a Starbucks coffee order on deck. I'm just super excited, Mike Salk.
I actually bet he doesn't know how to say Puyallup the right way yet. But I think that's what I liked about the conversation with him. Hey, what'd you think of everybody? Hey, I met a lot of really great people, and I met all these awesome people everywhere, and the staff and the cafeteria folks. I don't know their names yet, but I'm going to try to learn them and try to, like, he's not trying to fake the funk as, you know, the person you were just sort of referencing, right?
Wait.
I'm not trying to pretend. No. I think that's what's great about it. I'm not saying you're saying that he is. I think that's great. He's pretty real. Like, yeah, I'm going to learn it. I don't know him all yet, but it was nice to meet everybody yesterday and kind of happy to be a part of this thing.
I got a question about that. I lived some of that life experience. I know my struggle. I know I only started 4 games in the NFL in my 6 years, so I'm never going to characterize myself and put myself in the same bucket.
Yeah.
It's Geno and Russ and Sam and Matt and all these starting guys that did it for years, if not decades.
Yeah.
But I am curious, G, from your perspective, your psychology, following all these different guys, why do you think it is so hard to stay normal? Because from Aaron Rodgers to Russell Wilson to, I think, even Geno's, some of his like, why is it so hard to keep your feet on the ground and stay normal?
Okay, that's a great question, Brock, and I'm gonna make this. I'll tell you what I have seen over the last 22 years of being around these guys. First of all, most of them, 90% of them, don't stay the same. They become different. They change. And I understand it. First of all, I have a 23-year-old son. I know what that is like. I don't know what it is like to be 23 years old, 22 years old, and all of a sudden your financial things change. Not only does your financial change, your place and hierarchy in your family changes. You become the banker, the therapist, the counselor. You become everything. One minute you calling her grandma, the next minute your grandma is calling you, a 23-year-old, for advice. So there are a lot of things that go into how and why they change. Who are some players over the past that I can tell you guys that have consistently stayed the same? And it did not change. They were the same as a rookie as they were on the way out. And by the way, when players are getting ready to leave the game and they're trying to fight for that last contract, it's real funny how they come back to normal. It's real funny how all of a sudden, hey, how you doing? They like to speak to you. But if I'll give you guys some examples of players that stayed the same throughout, Lofa Tatupu, Matt Hasselbeck, Tyler Lockett, Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, KJ.
KJ. You know what I mean? I'm giving you guys players that, another one, Cam Chancellor. Even though Cam Chancellor had his he just had a little weird time in that offseason. Other than that, Cam Chancellor stayed the same.
Yep.
Most of them, Brock.
Hard to do.
It's hard to do. It's really hard to do.
And in all sports. I mean, that's not just unique to football. I mean, it's really hard to be a successful professional athlete. Really, it's hard to be successful in most anything without having some amount of change along the way. As you got to make hard decisions. You got to do a lot of things that everybody
with
can
the
do.
NFL.
Can we get back to the details? Let's get back to what happened here in the last week. Come on, Brock, hold on a minute. You're getting all philosophical.
I got all deep.
Let me go back to the question.
We've come a long way, by the way.
Yeah, a long way.
Yeah.
Stop
You
texting
and I
me on the
have
same
come
chain.
a long way.
We've come a long
Why
way.
so scared of you, me,
why do you
the
get
three
so
of us?
uncomfortable, bro?
I don't like when you two talk.
Jeez.
Why?
Because it makes me very nervous.
We can talk about race.
I don't know.
We can talk about
race,
politics.
You
We can talk about sex.
You both say you can do that, but I'm not convinced the two of you can keep doing that with each other. I don't need to be on the text thread while you're doing it. That's all.
Oh, yes, you
no,
do.
I really don't.
Oh,
I feel
yes,
like
you
I'd
are.
be just fine without.
Oh, yes, you
If
will.
You guys wanted. I feel like. Anyway.
Oh, yes, you will.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Okay, get to the details.
Here's my question. Gee, I asked this at 6 o'clock.
Come on.
Why is John making this all out to be Plan B?
Okay.
I mean, I played the sound earlier. I can go through it again if you want, but I think people kind of understand. He talks through Geno and saying, look, we wanted to sign Geno, and he wouldn't give us a counteroffer. And we wanted to sign DK, but he wanted to be traded and go somewhere else. So it sounds like to me, and maybe I'm misreading it, I'm really asking.
Okay.
Because I've asked more. I've asked Lyle, Brock, and I've actually heard the people.
Yeah.
I've gotten some pretty good answers, so I think that there are some very interesting parts to this.
Mm-hmm.
But he's making it sound as if Plan A was to re-sign both of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And now Plan B is like a completely different team that, quite frankly, I think is better than the one he would have had if he'd re-signed both of them.
I love this John Schneider. The one that we are currently seeing right now is the best version of John Schneider that I have ever seen. I wouldn't call it a Plan B. We are seeing his best version of a pivot. Yes, the plan was all along for Geno Smith to be here as the quarterback. And then they couldn't get a deal done. So instead of John Schneider going back and forth, spending the entire offseason, spending your time as fans, all of us as media, everybody just like, hey, in limbo, John's like, nope, bam, we're gonna move in another direction. As far as DK said he didn't want to be here. He wanted to be traded. And John Schneider said, okay, boom. Because John Schneider knows, as someone who has been successful as a GM, he knows that the sauce is you're only going to have players, deal with players that want to be here. For years, Pete Carroll had a sign up that says, I'm in. They tap the sign as they go out to practice. What does that mean? That means that these are the players that are bought in to hear what's going on. DK didn't want to be here. John Schneider pivots. Kumbaya, go do your thing.
That all makes sense. But a pivot is, by its very nature, turning to Plan B, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's not an insult to it. It's saying I had one plan.
Sure.
It didn't work for whatever reason, so I've got to go to my second plan. I love his second plan.
Can you agree that great leaders pivot?
But
Can you agree that great leaders have a Plan B in place?
100%. I love all that. This is not a shot at John Schneider. There's no need to defend him. I'm not taking shots at him.
I know you're not.
I think it's great. I think he did an awesome job.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe he's being very honest. He's being transparent. I wonder, and Brock, we kind of talked through this earlier, if maybe there was some element of, hey, Pete did a really great job of leaving the door open for people, and that this is a way of kind of trying to mend fences publicly so that it doesn't become, what's the word, confrontational or something like that on the way out the door, which it could have after both guys essentially asked to be traded.
Yeah.
It just struck me as odd that with all of the great things going on with this, I think this roster is much better than it would have been. I don't know that you could have re-signed both Jaron Reed and Ernest Jones and gone out and gotten DeMarcus Lawrence and gone Marquez Valdez-Scantling and be in the mix right now for Cooper Kupp and still have 5 picks in the top 92 in this draft and be in the running for one of these two interior offensive linemen. Maybe it's Garrett Bradbury if he's released. Maybe it's Tevin Jenkins, who apparently is going to come in for a meeting on Monday. The guard who's been around a little bit, and there's some other folks that are other teams that are interested. I don't think you could have done all of those things while re-signing DK and Geno. So I love this. Just odd to me that he's saying it's not what he wanted to do.
Yeah, I think my two reasons for it, G, were respect to those competitors, respect to Geno, much like Pete had, to those warriors that put pelts on the wall, sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears. I think it was one kind of final respect to Geno and DK, and I don't think we hear it again. I think that that was his chance to have this big public messaging yesterday to introduce the new people and pay his respect to the guys that were here. And then also they spent a lot of time, Mike McDonald, especially at the Combine, saying how much he loves DK and how much Geno's the tip of the spear and how much it is a poop take to think that.
So when you say that, Brock, are you
Yes.
saying, sorry to cut you off, but are you saying that he is essentially kind of setting, I think this would be a good reason for it, setting it up for the future of like, hey, I don't mean to just like blow smoke. I wasn't blowing smoke for those last few months all the while we were getting ready to trade him.
That's exactly right.
I meant it because I want the next guy to know that when I'm saying those nice things about him, I mean that also.
Yeah, and I think for Mike
That's fair.
McDonald,
That's good.
by the way, in the position that he's in, like for sure for him, he's doing his job. You say this all the time. Head coach's job is different than general manager's job, and he can totally have that opinion. And then when it comes time to do the business, and John Schneider calls Mike and says, "Hey, Mike, I know you love this guy. I know you believe everything you've been saying about him, but let me tell you, we're $10+ million apart, and this ain't happening. So we're going to have to pivot, and we're going to have to move." And I think in some ways it's clear as that. Hey, G, uncomfortable conversation. You ready? You ready to have it? When John Schneider said yesterday it was personal reasons with DK, I think we all agree and know it's money with Geno, but it was some personal stuff that he thought through conversations they could get through, and they never could. What was he alluding to?
That he's human. I think he's alluding to that, we forget that all of these titles, you might have a title at work. You might have a title as a husband. You might have a title. You are still a human being first. You have feelings first. And I think that when John talks about being personal, didn't we go through this last year? Didn't John have to go through this the same thing, whether or not DK was going to want to come back and everything? And I think they kind of let that one go through because, like, let's try to get this done. And then finally DK was like, okay, I'll stay here. And then everything that's going on, and then boom, it happens. And I think
What do you mean everything that's going on? What do you mean by that?
The
Geno.
The Geno.
all this.
All the Tyler, you know what I'm saying? And I can't speak for John. But when I heard John said personal, I felt that. Because the reason how I felt that, because, here's one thing I've learned about being around these athletes and being around even administrators and heads and management. It seems like only the players have feelings. It seems like only they can have their feelings hurt. It seems like only they can take it personal. Management, they take it personal too. They have feelings too, right? So you can't just have this attitude. And by the way, sometimes players know how far that they can go. Sometimes they don't know when their bluff gets called. You know what I mean? And I love to hear John come out, and I thought he was very transparent with Wyman and Bob. I loved how he came out and was just like, yeah, this is what happened. Here it is. I want my GM to be transparent like that because everything I'm hearing, everything that John is saying, that's exactly how it went down.
You know what's interesting, Salky, is all these years we talked to Pete off the air many times about parenting. In the analogous relationship between coaching and parenting is I'm now getting into this stage of parenting. It's become that much more real. Now, G started ahead of all of us. I mean, he started a long time, so he's got older kids.
He's got grandkids.
I got grandkids, bruh. I just had my second grandchild.
Grandpa G over here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Irish Grandpa G started way ahead of us.
Oh, St. Patty's Day on Monday.
It's your big day.
Hey, Kevin Martinez and the Mariners. Wait till y'all see this green Mariner hat I'm rocking on Monday. Come on now. I got Irish hat.
That sounded more like the hillbilly
I don't think that
music.
was Irish.
I don't think it was either.
Yeah, I think that was
hillbilly banjo than Irish.
Georgia deliverance.
I was off my game. But I want to give a shout out to Lyle. Lyle, I just want you to know, Lyle, I wore this Mariner fit today just for you.
Oh, that was nice of you.
I was thinking about you. Matter of fact, you're the only one in this building, you and Justin Barnes, that I think about when I'm doing wardrobe.
Nice.
Really?
How about that?
You don't think about me?
Hell no. What am I thinking about you for?
I don't know.
But anywho, back to what I was saying.
Maybe you might think about me. I don't know what you think about.
as your kids become young adults, and I'm watching that. Ailey's 22, going to get married this summer. Going to go from young adult to adulthood here pretty quick, get married and all that comes with that.
Yeah.
You do feel, and I feel a whole lot more of a connection for Schneider and Pete dealing with these young adults. And it's like, I think for John, it was also, hey, man, I drafted you. I came up and got you, DK. We believed in you. We paid you. With Geno, like I believed in you more than anybody else did, and we stuck by you. And you were going to the CFL if we didn't keep you here and grow you and incubate you. And we gave you your huge payday and all of it. And when you have feelings, real feelings, as you're saying, G, on that side too, like, come on, man, at least text me back and call me back. And put some respect on my name for all that I did grow and develop with you.
I'm so glad you. That's a very good point, Brock. And now I want to share a story with you guys. So the other day I had a conversation when Geno Smith got traded. And so, of course, we reacted to it. And on my show on Cairo Station, I talked about Geno for about 5 to 7 minutes. And in it, I talked about, this is what I said. I said, personally, I didn't like Geno. However, Geno was really good on the football field. He was fantastic. So for about 5 to 8 minutes, we had this discussion about Geno, and I talked about all the good things. Well, anyway, as you guys know how the social media age goes, they took a 60-second clip and soundbite. And in that, they called the, I didn't like Geno. I'm bringing this story up because I just want to say this. I got hit up by some former players, and I got hit up by some folks that were like, gee, I can't believe you made it personal and all those things. You know what's interesting? I say one thing out of the thousands and millions of times that I have praised Geno on the field, and it's only that one thing that stands out that I said I didn't like Geno personally.
Why don't you like him personally?
That's a good question. I'll just say before he blocked me on social media. That's why. I'll just leave it at that.
Is that the answer, or is that just all you want to say right now?
That's all I want to say right now.
Okay, so there might be more to the story one way or another, but that's all you want to say, and I don't think you're alone in that. I mean, Geno's a kind of a confrontational fella, no?
I think you were blocked too, Salk.
Yeah, I know. It was sad. That was sad. One day.
Look at you two. Maybe you two blocked by Geno, dude.
It's a club.
But
remember when there was the blocked by Cam club?
Yeah.
Everybody was like joining the blocked by Cam deal.
But I just want to stay. I want to stay on. I want to stay on that. Something now. You're at the stage where your kids, you're at a pretty fun age right now.
Great. You guys are both jealous of where I'm at.
I am totally jealous.
Not really, because what's coming?
Because where I am right now,
because
not what's coming.
Right now, your kids want to hang out with you. Right now, your kids think you're cool and everything.
That's going to change?
It is to. Hey, oh my! What? Is it going to change?
It's not going to change.
Hey,
Maura, is that going to change? That's going to change.
My kids love hanging out with me.
All of you parents out there with 20-something-year-olds, if you got 20-something-year-olds, can you please let Mike Salk know? Buckle up. It's a different way of parenting. You literally will have kids that will think they know more than you. You will have kids.
How could anybody know more than me? Impossible. I'm the world's greatest know-it-all. How would my kids possibly know more than me? I know more than everybody.
That's a good one.
Just listen to all of our ex-employees.
Yeah.
You got G.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay. You know what? There's an awkwardness here. It's trying to be covered up by laughing. Because here's the thing about Mike Salk. Let me tell you guys something. See, I'm going to say something. Mike Salk was a horrible boss.
Stop it. This is not about me.
No.
Would you stop?
You made it about
you. You're a terrible employee. We've done this before. You're the worst employee I've ever had.
No, I'm not.
And I have the Graz. You're by far the worst employee I've ever had. Not even close.
No. So,
not even close.
No, you're awful.
Worst employee of my life.
You are terrible.
It's because you're impossible to manage. You're a terrible employee.
A terrible boss.
You're a terrible employee.
I mean, nobody, the air checks that I used to have to go through.
The ones that made you better?
The suffering
the ones
that I had
you
to
have
go
said
through.
over and over again made you better?
Understanding.
You're the worst employee of all time.
I'm going to tell y'all right now, when I flew to Chicago, I had to go to Chicago. I was so damn scared to take off, I had to go find an ESPN studio in Chicago to still do the work. This dude, Mike Salk, if you wasn't feeling well, you couldn't even call in sick. Because Mike Salk said, oh, really? You're sick now? You're not feeling well? Now, with all that being said, even though I call him all those things, and by the way, I'm telling the truth, and Brock's laughing because he knows I'm telling the truth.
No, he knows that I'm telling the truth.
He was seriously the best thing that ever happened. It's the reason why
which
I've
makes
been
me
in
the
this
best
game.
boss you've ever had.
Hell no.
Yes, it does.
You were god-awful.
Did it work?
You did not become...
Did it work?
You did not become likable until you stopped being
you're
a
saying
boss.
likable. Who says likable?
Even the
I
top...
wasn't trying
right
to
now,
be
I think
likable.
both of you need a lesson
Even
in
the
good
top
radio.
boss lady.
Why are you even talking about this?
Even the boss lady would agree with me. Boss lady who's probably got a Starbucks cup in her hand right now.
Do you think Bill Belichick is the most likable coach in the NFL?
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay, you were not the Bill Belichick of management. Brock, what are you doing? Get back in here.
My head is
What is
about to
happening?
explode.
Thank you.
Oh.
Mara?
He's got so many unresolved issues.
But you trying
all we want to do is talk about
tell
Geno
me
and DK.
that I was a bad employee. You mean to tell me over the last years, you telling me I was the worst employee? Of all the people, I was the worst employee.
Hey, G, is Cooper Kupp a Seahawk, and do you want him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely. Yakima coming in the building.
Come on, Miners.
Hey, Cooper, bring your boy some minors. Y'all know Cooper about to pull up in here.
You think he can still play, G?
I don't know. It don't matter.
Yeah.
What do you make of the whole? What do you make of this whole DeMarcus Lawrence Cowboys back and
Got
forth?
1 minute.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that D-Law did that. I really didn't. Even though I put a poll up, and a lot of you fans loved that D-Law did that. I didn't like it. I also didn't like Richard Sherman saying you mad, bro, back then. So what do I know? You know what I mean? So, but one thing I think, hey, fans, the one thing we have learned this. You better back it up, bruh. Yeah, you better back it up.
Right.
Because if you don't, social media gonna be hot on that ass. On that booty.
Will you do me a favor before you leave here? Will you just remind people that I am no longer the boss? I am not in management, haven't been for years. People hear that and they start getting confused. I just want people to remind everyone.
Okay,
I got nothing to do with the management of this station anymore.
Let me go ahead
Zero.
And let me
just say that.
I'm gonna take myself out with this. Mike Salk again was a horrible boss. However, he is a very good human being, and he is so much better by not being a boss.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he's the best radio host that I ever know. I'm the radio host. If you think I'm a decent radio host, or if you think I suck, it's because of Mike Salk.
I wish you could hear yourself sometimes. It really would be a remarkable thing. All right, G, I know you got to go. You've got your show to go do over on, what did you call it? The Cairo or something like that?
Cairo Station.
The Cairo Station.
The
I'm sure your current boss loves hearing that. And Brock, I know you've got to run as well.
Did you guys cut that when he calls himself Bill Belichick?
I didn't call myself Bill Belichick. I asked if you thought he was a likable person or if he'd had success, since you seem to be equating the two things.
Love you, Mike.
You know I get the last word on this show. It's my damn show. Brock, goodbye. G, goodbye. We'll be right back. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2.
Cooper Kupp, does the fit make sense?
Yeah, it does. He still runs good routes. He's never been a burner, so his game kind of ages like fine wine, the same way I described Devontae Adams. He can catch the football. He is smart. He is savvy. He's great in the red zone. He's still got some quicks to his game. You and JSM, you're coming home. The offense is just like it was over there with Sean McVay and them. Why wouldn't you want to go home?
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I've always said, the car sales in the 1980s and 1990s, earned the rep that we have today. The concerns that consumers have because of what has happened in our industry in the past, they're warranted. It's our job to show them that that's not how business is done anymore, right? It's very different business. It's much more transparent. There's much more information that's available to people. And we're much more customer focused than I think the car industry was, 20, 30 years ago. I'm more focused on providing good customer service and relationships, because I think if you take care of people, money will always come. So I think just the philosophy and the focus for us has changed, where I was constantly chasing a paycheck, and now I'm just constantly trying to take care of customers and employees, because I know if I do that, then my paycheck will take care of itself.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rate supply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Hey, it's me, second base at T-Mobile Park. In my view, it's pretty sweet. I can see the big dumper flashing his platinum glove, firing a perfect throw right at me. Here comes the tag. Oh, got him.
Another strike him out, throw him out for Cal Raleigh.
Then there's Julio, stomping on me on his way to a stand-up triple. That dude is unreal.
Swinging a line drive, Julio round to third with a 2-out, 3-run triple.
And JP, smooth as silk, snaring line drives out of thin air.
And he takes a hit away!
Come check it out for yourself. There's nothing like being this close to the action. Although I'm still waiting to get invited to the Wind Dance. A base can dream. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Mariners opening day is on deck. Don't miss the festivities at T-Mobile Park on March 27th, including a ceremonial first pitch from Hall of Famer Ichiro. The fun continues all week with Randy Arozarena Cross-Armed Hoodie Night March 28th and a Julio Bat Flip Bottle Giveaway March 31st to April 2nd. Lock in your seats today at mariners.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile brand. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-848-4499. 800-848-4499. Again, that's 800-848-4499.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that little look inside G. Scott's brain. It was certainly a wild ride. We got an hour to go here, and certainly the last 30 minutes will be filled with you guys. Want to take phone calls as we do Fridays at 9:30. Sorry, Brock had to run. I don't even know what he's doing, but he needed to jump out of here for a little early today. So it's just me the rest of the way, and I'll be joined by you guys at 9:30. Obviously, a ton to react to after a crazy, crazy week. Geno and DK and Darnold and everything else. If you didn't get an opportunity to hear the interview with Sam Darnold, I hope you do. It's a lot of fun, really interesting to meet the guy and just kind of hear a little bit about his journey. Great question by Brock, took us all the way through his journey and what he learned along the way, what he learned in USC, what he learned with the Jets, what he learned with Carolina, what he learned with Brock Purdy and everybody else in San Francisco, and then eventually last year in Minnesota, and how it all kind of leads to now. It's pretty cool. It was a pretty cool story about where he's been and what it leads him to. So if you got some time, please go find that. You can always download the Seattle Sports app. That's a great place to do it. But Apple Podcasts, Google, the whole deal. You can always find all of our interviews and everything we do later on all those sites. So Maura, you brought up an interesting question. I know you're not feeling great. Maura's a little under the weather. She's battling through today. And just like G said, I demanded that she come in because we can't possibly live without her.
No, you told me I could go home.
Which is, I'm sure, the same thing I said to G, but he's, G. Anyway, we're not going to get caught up in that. You asked this question a couple days ago, and it just unfortunately kept getting moved around the show sheet. And I wanted to make sure we had time for it because I think it's a phenomenal one. And that is essentially trying to make a little comparison to what the Seahawks have always done and what specifically the Niners have done in the John Lynch era, whereas the Seahawks are essentially consistent, right? They want to give themselves a bite at the apple every year. They haven't had, what have they had, like 1 or 2 losing seasons in the entirety of the time John's been here? I mean, they're always at least 9 wins and often more than that.
Yeah, since 2014, they've only won fewer than 9 games once. The Niners have won more than one playoff game 4 times, but they've won fewer than 9 games 7 times since 2014.
They've either been great or terrible, it feels like, kind of almost not alternate years, but, bouts of being unbelievable, and then they drop right down, and then unbelievable, and then they drop right down. And, during that time, been to a couple Super Bowls, obviously, with 2 different quarterbacks. Like, it's a completely different view on how to build or construct a team and what the philosophy is. Maura, you asked the question, but I'm going to turn it back on you. Which do you prefer?
I think it's hard for me not to. I just think that what the Niners have done in being able to build that back up is there's some luck to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you can presume that you're going to be able to do that every time. They have been able to go back to the Super Bowl, and they have been able to do some teardowns. But I think I probably am more of the camp to play it safe a little bit. I have thought, even though the Seahawks have kind of been right in that same range, that they were going to get over the hump eventually. I guess when you kind of feel like you're beating your head against a door and you aren't getting over that hump, then yeah, let's make some changes. But I was okay with their approach for quite some time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Niners one, I mean, John Lynch said the other day, like we spend a lot of money, but when you spend a lot of money, eventually it gets to a point where you have to take a step back and do kind of a reset. And I just think that a lot of fans aren't really into that, but there were also some complaints about the Seahawks kind of being in the mix every year and not going beyond that.
Here is the John Lynch that you mentioned.
I think since Kyle and I've been here, we've been, certainly a top 5, I believe, number 2 cash spending team. In the last 5 years, I think we're 4 years going into the 4th year. I think we're the 4th highest cash spending team. So we're at some point you have to reset a little bit, or at least recalibrate. You can't just keep pressing the pedal, and I think there's some good that can come out of it. We need to get younger. I think we're the oldest team in football, trying to make a run at the deal last year, and I think it's good to constantly get younger. Our draft class last year was a great move towards that.
Yeah, I like that. And, frankly, that's probably the style that I would prefer in the NFL. I don't know whether, baseball has some element of that, but the 54% thing that Jerry talks about, while frustrating for a lot of people, and certainly the way it was said was not A+, Lyle, you're upset, as much as anybody has been at times, but you recognize that what Jerry said then had some basis in reality, that when teams win roughly 54% every year, over time, they tend to ultimately make playoffs and then gives them opportunities to go to championships. Doesn't mean the goal is to win only 54%, but if that's your baseline, you're probably doing pretty well and giving yourself bites at the apple to win championships.
Yeah, the teams that had won 54% of their games over a 10-year stretch, when you look at it, it's all the best teams in the league.
That's right.
That was nowhere near the thing that frustrated me the most.
Of course not.
Yeah,
I know.
anyway.
We don't need to get into relitigating what happened a few years ago. But just the idea that in baseball, there's some truth to that. In football, man, if you're not getting a first-round bye or one of the top 2 teams in your conference, you're probably not competing for the Super Bowl anymore. Probably not. There will be outliers on that. But if you're not one of the top 2, maybe 3 teams in your conference, you're not competing for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, those Steelers, Packers, Giants wildcard runs are kind of rare.
They're rare. And it feels like becoming even more rare than they used to be as the teams at the very top are doing what he just said. Going all in when they have the momentum, when they have a team that they think can be there. What Schneider's done has been amazing. And more, I'm not discounting it. I think you make a great argument in favor of what John's done. I don't have any problems with people who think that way. It's not the way I think in the NFL. I think the NFL should be a little bit more all in and then tear down and then go all in and then tear down. And then, if you can get to a point where you are at the absolute pinnacle, well, that's when you've got to make those really hard choices. The ones that drive Richard Sherman crazy. The ones I think Belichick has made better than anybody, and quite frankly, Andy Reid has made incredibly well. You've got to trade. In Andy Reid's case, his wide receiver, the little guy, what's his name? Tyreek Hill. Thank you. Sorry, mind blank. Long day. He had to trade Tyreek Hill. Right? You got to trade the edge rusher that they traded to the Niners. I'm blanking on his name too, but you get my point.
With the edge rusher to the Niners or from the Niners?
To the Niners.
Oh, I didn't know if you meant DeForest Buckner. Sorry.
No, there was an edge rusher they had who ended up going. It doesn't matter. You get my point. He's made some of those really difficult decisions when he's had to in order to keep that team on top. Obviously, it helps to have a Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, it helped Belichick to have a Brady. But if those two had just kept their teams totally together, they don't maintain. No chance.
Oh, the Chiefs traded somebody to the Niners? Oh, D Ford?
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. That's what I was thinking.
But yeah, I think that one thing that makes me excited for this new pairing with Schneider and McDonald, I guess with what we're hearing about DK and Geno wanting to move on, maybe those decisions weren't this, but seeing what they did with the linebackers last year, it seems like they are much more in a quick, decisive mode as a pairing than it was with Carroll and Schneider.
Totally agree.
So even if you're not going to do a full teardown, like go all in and pay everyone and then do a teardown like the Niners, I think they do have a different approach.
It sure feels that way. It feels like there's a little bit more urgency right now, right? Where we're just not going to put up with that. We need to build this team in our image. And quite frankly, I think they're doing a pretty good job of it. It may not be plan A, but plan B right now, the road that they're actually walking down, it's sure working for me. I really like what they've done so far this offseason. Is there a shot for them to do something else really big, maybe as soon as this morning? Cooper Kupp is out there and available. Is he coming to Seattle? That's next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob. Weekdays 2 to 7.
Your two most prominent players on offense said, I want out of here.
If you ask the texters, they would say both of them have attitude problems.
We'll see what Geno signs for. If he signs for somewhere in around 40 to 45, what does that say about how he felt about Seattle?
You've got to put a lot of faith in John Schneider and Mike McDonald. John said, we're not going to do anything that hurts the team. The team is number one, the player is number two.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile has Wi-Fi Power Boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Get the same reliable network in the places you need the most. The coffee shop, the grocery store, or the game. All to power more of what you love, whether you're a gamer, streaming, or work from home. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and Mobile. And now through April 21st, get 3 300 megabit Xfinity internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year with no annual contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Plus, ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet Plus One Unlimited Welcome Line, and AT&T Internet 300 Plus One Unlimited Starter SL Line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Over the past decade, Washington state politicians have doubled state spending with no improvements to the issues we care about. Instead, we now have the third highest cost of living in the nation and a $12 billion deficit. It's time to tell legislators we need better results, not bigger taxes. Act now at affordablewashington.org. Paid for by people for an affordable Washington and Olympia, Washington. Top 5 donors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Alaska Air.
I juggle a lot. And managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Progressive Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance might be the easiest part of owning a home. Definitely easier than this.
Psst, honey. Honey! What? Shh, there's a salesman walking up the driveway.
Oh no, he's got a clipboard.
What do we do?
Get down.
Down?
On the floor, you...
Shoot, did he see us?
Why are you breathing so loud?
Home ownership isn't easy, but with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, shopping for home insurance is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner, so he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Feeling lucky? Well, you should, because there's a pot of $300,000 in cash just waiting to be won. Follow the end of the rainbow to Silver Reef every Saturday night in March to throw your hat into the ring. 2 new winners drawn every hour from 6:30 to 11:30 p.m. Get ready for lucky spins, lucky wins, and a night of fun like there's never been. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef.
Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
March is here, and Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have teamed up to take away your car buying madness. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, they have the widest selection of new and certified used inventory and the largest savings in the region. Now that's a slam dunk. The all-star staff at Toyota of Renton and Kirkland will assist you with a test drive, and you can score that car the very same day. Come see for yourself or visit online at toyotaofrenton.com or toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, it was really nice getting to know Sam Darnold this morning as he and all of the other new Seahawks met with the media, which was very cool yesterday. And John and Mike both did a really fun joint interview with Wyman and Bob together. And then this morning, we had a chance to talk with Mr. Darnold. And I really enjoyed him. I like Brock asked such a good question about his learning all along the way and what he learned at each one of his stops. Carolina might have been the most interesting of them.
Carolina, I think, and I say this a lot, but my time with Baker, them signing Baker and, deciding, okay, Sam, you're going to be the backup, and then being able to sit back and watch. And that was really the first time I got to sense, I don't think I've ever, been a backup before that, except for my, true freshman year at USC when I was redshirting. So just to be able to sit back and watch and really understood that there's no need to put more pressure on yourself as a quarterback. There's 10 other guys out there with you, and everyone's got to do their job for the quarterback to be successful. And I feel like I learned a lot about that when I was in Carolina, especially backing up Bake, and was able to learn from that and actually played pretty well. I think we went 4-2 those last 6 games in Carolina with a chance in that division to make a run at the playoffs, and didn't quite make it, but I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting part of his journey, that it wasn't necessarily just the Minnesota, all of a sudden everything comes together, or getting a chance to play for Shanahan and all of that in San Francisco, that even in a stop like Carolina where things weren't perfect, where he did have to sit on the bench for a while, he was able to learn quite a bit from it. He also just felt like a very real dude and kind of talking about his experiences just yesterday, being around the building for the first time, how he first found out about the trade of Geno Smith and what it led him to. All reasons why I found him to be a pretty compelling figure yesterday. So exciting to have Sam Darnold, new QB1, and a new era of Seahawks football that should, I believe it's going to be better than the last one, but we'll see in which direction it goes.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, other moves and other stories in Seahawks world. There's a lot of it today. We are waiting on news regarding Cooper Kupp. Michael Bumpus had said yesterday that he had a text from somebody, good authority, somebody he trusted, that the Seahawks were one of 2 teams that Kupp is considering. Then we heard from Diana Rossini that the Cowboys were the other team. Then Adam Schefter says early this morning that the Cowboys were not considered the likely landing spot for Cooper Kupp. Well, again, a little process of elimination. Sure sounds like the Seahawks would then become the favorite. So hopefully something, let's see. Show ends in about 40 minutes. So I'd say you're about 45 minutes away or so from Bump and Stacy getting to break some news that Cooper Kupp is here. Hopefully. Who knows? We'll see. Otherwise, the Seahawks are planning to bring in Tevin Jenkins for a meeting on Monday. He's a big guard who has been rumored to be among those that they would be interested in. And then finally, the other guy that they had a chance to introduce yesterday, or one of the other guys, is DeMarcus Lawrence. So he sits down or has a little interview with Hawk Blogger afterwards, Brian Nemhauser, and this video clip goes super viral.
Dallas is my home. I made my home there. My family lives there. I'm forever going to be there. But, I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. So, yeah.
Now, that gets over 7 million impressions. To me, that's a shot at Jerry Jones and the organization. But obviously, Micah Parsons took it personally, said that it was just rejection and envy, called him a clown, and had a clown emoji. There were some curse words. Lawrence responds by telling him that if he had spent more time working and less time tweeting, that Lawrence would still be there, which is a pretty great response. In any event, as Brock said, I'm sure all this will calm down pretty quickly, but DeMarcus Lawrence seems like a guy.
My story wasn't done, so I didn't want to, pack it up and, say I'm done when I know deeply in my heart that I ain't. So being able to have this opportunity with the Seahawks, it's like a dream come true. Feel like a baby boy all over again. So, hopefully, it rejuvenates me, give me some youth, and, I can go out there and kick butt.
Well, that would be pretty good because they're going to need him this year to help set an edge and really turn this defensive front into something that was excellent last year and has a chance to be really elite this season.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Mariners play tonight with all of their young prospects on display. This is pretty cool. This is the showcase, and I keep screwing it up.
I think you're 0 for 4 in all
I'm
these
0
need
for
to knows.
4.
It's the spring breakout game.
Why do I want to call it the showcase? Did they do a showcase at some point?
There's high school showcases and things like that for
what is wrong with
high-end
me?
draft picks.
I didn't write it down. I'm sorry, Lyle. Spring breakout game. I don't know. I got a mind blank. Some sort of I don't know. Anyway, it's pretty cool. All of their top prospects are supposed to play in it against Cleveland's top prospects. So everyone from Felning Celestine to Colt Emerson to Durangelo Saintcha, who's the switch pitcher that they drafted last year. Unbelievable to watch if you haven't seen it yet. Ryan Sloan. Help me, there's more. Ty Pete.
Cole Young, Ben Williamson, Logan Evans, Brandon Garcia,
Pretty
Harry
cool.
Ford.
Yeah,
everybody.
all those guys should be playing in it. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Should be really fun. Meanwhile, huge news for those of you who are interested in the annual Vetter Cup. Tim Booth is going to be so excited about all of this. The Mariners and Padres making a co-announcement today, along with Eddie Vedder himself, that they will officially now make their series against each other the Vetter Cup. So this year usually they've done 2-2. This year they're finally doing 3-3. So 3 games here, 3 games in San Diego, and the winner will play for the Vetter Cup trophy, created with Vetter's input to include a guitar that he provided. The trophy will be unveiled later during the 2025 season, prior to the first matchup between the two clubs. So we'll get a chance to see it. There's a charitable element of this as well, EB research. And that is very hard to pronounce. That is epidermolysis bullosa. That's something that's important to Eddie and his family. Here's my favorite part of this. If they're tied 3-3, the first tiebreaker will be run differential. The second tiebreaker will be EV. No, not Eddie Vedder, exit velocity. The team with the highest exit velocity recorded on a hit will win the Vetter Cup. It's kind of awesome. That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. You know who Eddie Vedder is, Lyle?
I do.
Do you know what band he was in?
He was in Pearl Jam.
Oh, wow. He still is, actually, I guess you should say.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Eddie Vedder. Nice job. I was concerned. Can you name a Pearl Jam song?
State of Love and Trust.
Oh, it's just because it's in our... Stop it. You can't use that one. That's in our system because we use it as intro music. Name another Pearl Jam song. You can't name one other Pearl Jam song, can you?
I'll get back to you on that.
Wow. All right. So here we go. So your assignment currently is to watch Terminator 2, which you're going to do this weekend, I think you said. So we'll talk about that on Monday.
Right.
We've been talking about how we can't just do movies every time. And as the baseball season gets going, you're going to be busy, or maybe an album. Pearl Jam's 10 might have to be your first album that you've got to listen to from front to back.
All right.
I think you should do it. Sure. I can't tell you how many times I've heard Even Flow. I think it's the song that I've heard on the radio more than any other in my entire life. I'm not saying it's the song that I've listened to the most, but the song that I have heard on the radio more than any other in my entire 46, almost 47 years, I think is Even Flow. Maybe you guys have other options. I think that's the one that I've heard more than any other song. Feel like it's always on, even still. Even Flow. So anyway, that's the Vetter Cup. Should we open the phones? You guys ready? Let's do it. We've been waiting to do this all week, right? 866-979-3776. What do you guys want to talk about? Anything going on in Seattle sports? How do you feel about this week? How do you feel about going from Geno Smith to DK Metcalf and DK Metcalf to Sam Darnold and everything else that the Seahawks have done? What do you want to see them do next? Why is John Schneider saying that this was all plan B? What do you think is behind all of that? Should they have done what they did? Should they have spent more on Geno? Why didn't Geno want to come back? Should they have given more for DK? Why didn't DK want to come back? What do you make of the pivots? Gosh, there's any number of things and any number of directions you can go. We'll take a call on anything you guys have next. 866-979-3776. You guys are next on Brock and Salk.
Fourth down territory. Going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What's the film study shown you on Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
I like it. He's a player that runs his routes with effort. There are some guys who just look really smooth when they do their thing. He's an effort type of guy. I think he understands how to attack leverage. He's a willing blocker, and that's something you have to do in this Kubiak offense. And within that Kubiak offense, the effort is always there.
Fourth down territory every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
All right, it's the weekend. Time for luxury, comfort, elegance all together at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And yes, this summer, you can experience the breathtaking Cascade views, the world-class dining, the best entertainment, all by elevating your next getaway at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel's opening up this summer. It's going to be amazing. Grand suites, signature suites, premium and deluxe king and two queen rooms, the whole deal. Plus a new destination spa, a big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center for concerts and more. And then, new food venues as well. Great new restaurants. For more details, please visit snocasino.com. You know Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Making fresh produce and food affordable and accessible to all is a mission Safeway is deeply committed to. G. Scott here. Your local Safeway has all the great benefits that SNAP-eligible families love, plus exclusive savings. Right now, save 50% on Fresh Pass memberships, plus get a monthly $5 credit, free unlimited delivery, $10 of free produce, and double rewards. Check out your Safeway For You app for all details and savings, or visit Safeway.com/SNAP for details.
Hey friends, Stacey Rost here. Who has some of the best deals on new Fords and Isuzus in the Pacific Northwest? Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Who has a large selection of the highest quality used vehicles in the Pacific Northwest? That would also be Wayscar Ford in Auburn. And what dealership promises no games, no gimmicks, and never any pressure to purchase? Yes, that is correct. It's Wayscar Ford in Auburn still. Who's the only Ford dealer in all of Washington to offer a 5-day or 500-mile, no questions asked, 100% money-back return policy? Wayscar Ford in Auburn. They offer free lifetime powertrain warranty on virtually all of their new Fords. Who's the only dealer that will purchase your used car, pay you right up front, and then once they resell your old car, return 50% of the profit to you? Only Wayscar Ford in Auburn. They've given over $750,000 back to customers who have sold them their cars. And finally, what dealership has been family-owned and operated in Auburn for over 103 years? You guessed it, Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Visit them at wayscarford.com.
Hello, Seattle. It's your friendly neighbor, the T-Mobile Park roof. From up here, I can see it all. Folks pouring in from the street, the sun setting over the sound, the roar of the crowd as Luis Castillo pumps his fist, and the joy of the J-Rod squad as Julio snares a deep fly ball at the wall.
He reaches up with a leap and he makes the catch!
And all the faces smiling with every perfectly grilled hot dog and swirl of soft serve. When the final out's made, I'll be right up here, lighting the W and soaking it all in. Mariners baseball. Try it inside.
The Mariners are kicking off the season with a stacked slate of promotions, including a Julio Bat Flip Bobble March 31st to April 2nd, and a Cal Platinum Glove Bobble April 7th to April 9th. All 6 dates are Mariners value games, which means you can score seats starting at just $10. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Swedish Cyberknife has been serving the Pacific Northwest with innovative and compassionate care since 2006. Being able to precisely and accurately deliver radiation makes a difference in terms of controlling cancer and reducing the risk of side effects. The treatment is completed in only 5 sessions, lasting less than an hour. Patient surveys consistently give Swedish Cyberknife the highest of rankings. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk
Weekdays 6 to 10.
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Should be the easiest day ever for Seahawks fans. But if you got other things on your mind, certainly, as I say, open phone line. So whatever you guys want to talk about, 866-979-3776. We've got the rest of the show blocked off for you guys to talk about what's on your mind and what you think. What the Seahawks have done here over the last week is, franchise altering forever and ever. It's incredible. I mean, this team now looks totally different. I love it. Just to set the stage again, I absolutely love what they've done. I was surprised to hear John Schneider say essentially, yeah, we didn't want to do any of it, but once they forced our hands, we had a good plan B. And I'm paraphrasing him there. I give him a lot of credit for having the plan B ready to go. I'm surprised it wasn't plan A, because I think this is much better than the idea of re-signing DK and Geno Smith to contracts that I'm not sure they would have played up to. I love this. I really do. You get younger, similar tier quarterback, but you get younger, more relatable. I think you're going to get a better overall quarterback in general. Maybe not every single skill, but I think I like what he brings to the table more. And then you get all the draft picks. You get younger. You get the money savings. You can go get more things with it, which they've done. Maybe you'll see Cooper Kupp here by the end of the day. 866-979-3776. Let's start with Kevin in Everson. What's going on, Kevin? Good morning.
Morning, Sock. So, I was thrilled when the first news rolled out about Geno and DK, and I was excited because my thought was, okay, now they're going to stink for 1 year. And that means we're going to be able to go out next year and get that franchise quarterback for the next 10 and be set. And that's my concern. If you ask me ahead of time, would I rather have 1 or 2 years here and there of bad football and then a 5-year window of Super Bowl potential, I'd take that over 10 years of 9 and 10 win seasons and no playoff wins, which is where we're at. And I don't think Sam Darnold's the answer to that. I think he's going to be just good enough to win you 1 playoff game, maybe 2, and then you're out. And then you're stuck at these medium draft pick scenarios, and we're just looping over and over again. And that's my concern.
Yeah, Kevin, mine too.
Signing.
Mine too. I agree with you. That's my concern as well. It could go that way. That's the worst scenario, right? It would be better for them to stink this year than for them to win 9 games. I'm right there with you. You and I see that 100%. I think you've called before, right? We've talked before about this. I think you and I see this very, very, very similarly. But I think because of what they were able to do, moving some of those pieces around in terms of both money and the draft picks and all of it, for the first time, I can start to write you a script, I think, that they could be better than they were a year ago. I mean, let's be clear. Darnold did win 14 games last year, not 9. And there is a pretty reasonable argument to be made that at 7 years younger than Geno, he is actually getting better and has finally started to realize some of that number 3 overall pick potential. So I'm with you. I think that's a concern. But I think because of what you were able to do with DK and Geno, it's allowing you to fill in so many of the other holes that I think you're at least giving yourself a shot.
Yeah, I just am concerned we're the new rest home of the NFL, I guess.
Appreciate the call, Kevin. Thank you. Thanks for calling. I think he's a smart dude, Kevin. I mean, because, we agree on a lot of this stuff. Rest home, though, you just got younger at quarterback. That's not fair. You just got younger at quarterback, and you got 5 draft picks in the top 92. You got 10 picks in this year's draft. I don't know if you're the rest home. You got to have a couple of veterans. That's okay. It's okay. I don't mind bringing in DeMarcus Lawrence. It's okay to have a veteran or so in there. So it's Marquez, right? I guess I've been getting that wrong. Apologies to him. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I'm sorry about that. I mean, it's okay to have a couple of older guys, but by signing Geno and DK to 3rd contracts, I don't see how that was going to help you get a lot younger. He's right. The whole rebuild thing, we talked about it yesterday, or 2 days ago. One of the things I might have done, I might have signed Daniel Jones and gone down that road and either he's the next Darnold, the next Baker, the next guy who figures it out, the next Geno, or he stinks and you end up in the top 10 of the draft. I could have gone down that way. This is a little safer than that. And honestly, it's probably a better call.
The 727 says younger is not an actual stat by which you should judge a player, but I mean, it's just the facts that with Geno, they were always going to have to give him a short-term deal because you're just not comfortable locking a quarterback up for 5 years that's already 35 years old. You're a little more comfortable with that with Darnold. Like you said, either he's good and you stick with him or he's a bridge, but Geno wanted that longer, more committal deal,
right.
And you do have to consider age at that point.
Younger, I think, matters when it comes to ascending versus descending, which is more likely, and it matters in terms of health.
And we see that the NFL thinks it matters all the time.
Yes, but those two in particular. Are you getting better or are you getting worse? Which stage in your career are you in? And are you more likely to be healthy or not? Oh, by the way, you also got to throw in how much money you're making. Darnold, part of the allure here is that Darnold's going to make less than Geno wanted. Go ahead, Lyle.
Speaking of younger, I know you guys highlighted this week where you want to see these guys use their first 5 draft picks, but even with Darnold here, how would you feel if they draft Jackson Dart at 18?
At 18? I mean, I guess I would be okay with it only because it means John's 100% all in. Mm-hmm. I've said this before. The moment John Schneider decides to draft a quarterback in the first round, I'll be all in because I think John really, when he wants something like that, it would tell me that he means it. So do I think it's what they're going to do? No. Do I think that right now is it what I want them to do? No. But I will tell you right now today, and I'll swear by it, and I've said it every year since, if and when John Schneider decides that there is a first-round quarterback out there that he wants, especially now that he doesn't quote-unquote need it, I'll feel even better. I'll say, all right, this is the guy. John has the eye for it, and when he sees it and he goes after it, yes, I'd be all in on that. I don't see it happening. 866-979-3776. Let's go to CJ in Seattle. Good morning, CJ. What's up?
Yo, good morning.
Yo.
I almost ran out of gas here. I took your call and I'm listening. And I was like, oh, my God. I was going to stop, and I just kept on driving and listening. Anyhow. So, hey, I love all the moves. I don't think we've had defensive depth like this as far as all those signings. And I was surprised because, it's like you knew we had money, but we're not sure, it's not cut and dry exactly. But as far as Darnold, that was like a huge deal. I was always a defender of Geno, I don't know if you have all those fans you talk about that aren't radio guys that just watch the games here and there. Most people hated him. I liked him. I remember the 90s, and I watched. So I was grateful to have a pretty good starter. But, yeah, he's not. I didn't like how his body language was with, I guess, adversity during the game. Mm-hmm. Maybe a lack of charisma, if you call it, because it's not like he's a problem. But I just felt like when I watched Darnold lose to the Rams, I watched that. And I just, when I was watching it, I was like, man, like the way he took that and just kept on going. I mean, I feel like that was like really telling. See, he just kept getting back up, He kind of, no pouting, no, I don't feel like his energy went negatively on his teammates, and I think that's like pretty rare in the league.
Yeah, and that was one of Russell's great strengths. For we've obviously talked, Russell. The opinions on Russ have changed since he left, but that was one of Russ's great strengths, right? The neutral mentality and everything that Trevor Moawad had helped teach him. Yeah, maybe Darnold's got a little of that. That would be nice. 866-979-3776. Go Chris and Linwood. What's up, Chris?
Hey, guys. First-time caller. Appreciate you giving me an opportunity to
Absolutely.
share. I think this is a blessing in disguise.
Mm-hmm.
DK Metcalf's attitude and ego was becoming more and more toxic and becoming more of a liability. I think that Tyler Lockett, sure, he made a lot of great catches, but he really flopped after most all of them. There were very few yards after compared to what some of his predecessors and peers were doing. And Geno was never going to take us to a Super Bowl. And, whether this guy will or not is yet to be seen. But these moves give us so much room, like you've been saying. And so I actually wouldn't be surprised if we make the playoffs and actually make a little splash this year and be better.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of that is still yet to be determined. Appreciate the call, Chris. Thanks for checking in for the first time. Hope you do it again. A lot of that's still to be decided. Do they find a veteran center or guard? They're going to bring in Tevin Jenkins on Monday. It sounds like that Garrett Bradbury is probably going to get cut maybe as soon as today. He's the center in Minnesota who Darnold has a relationship with. So, okay, there's a couple options to help you get better. And then what do you do in the draft? Do you bring in a Cooper Kupp or not? Right? What does the rest of your wide receiver room look like? Because obviously without DK there, you need a little something. But I just don't want to see them spend the kind of resources they were on DK in order to bring that in. Let's see, 866-979-3776. We'll go to Dustin in Vancouver. What's up, Dustin? Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for taking my call. I actually disagree with the last caller's take on DK. I love the physicality and attitude that he brought to our offense, but I understand the business side of it. Two things. Like you said on Monday, it's kind of nerve-wracking moving on from two good players. But for the first time, I'm not scared of going back to the irrelevant pre-Holmgren Seahawks of old. I'm excited and I trust in John and Mike. And then second is, do we just take Daniel Jeremiah's word as gospel now? He called the Geno and DK moves, and I was kind of shocked when it actually all went down.
Yeah, he definitely referenced it. Jordan Babineau said it, a couple of months ago. So, yeah, there have been a few people that were talking about it, and those would be the two that probably come to mind before anyone else. It was something I wanted to happen, but I'm not sure I saw it happening quite like this. I was excited. They were both guys that I thought you could move on from for different reasons. And I know it drove a lot of people crazy over the last year, me asking so many of our guests about both of them. And we did get a lot of texts like, Salk, you're the only one talking about this. But, yeah, again, I'll say I think that's a good thing. Like, we're trying to bring you different stories and trying to be ahead of this stuff. And in this case, it ended up going that way, where ultimately both of those relationships fell apart. All right, let's keep this going. 866-979-3776. Try Kevin in Shoreline. What's up, Kevin? Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Thanks for taking the call. Took me a couple of days to come back around to it because I'm a big DK Metcalf fan. Actually, in the middle of the end of last season, like 3 months after we were completely done, went down to the team store, bought his jersey. I'll follow him through the Steelers. Won't be a Steeler fan, but I'm a DK fan.
Okay.
So it took a few days for me to process. But it's great for Seattle in the long run. Salk, you nailed it. You're right. Kudos to you and Jay Babs. You guys called it. Saw it a mile away. Don't know how you did, but you did. It's going to do what we've been talking about for a long time. It's unfashionable. We have 5 top picks. Let's go after some linemen, some big bruisers to push people around, to free up Sam so he can actually shine. He did so well because he had tools around him, right? Like, he's not going to come do it. He needs tools. He
even said that, by the way. I don't know if we didn't get a chance to ask him about this today, but one of the things he said was that he learned in San Francisco, specifically from Brock Purdy and that system, how to be a point guard rather than a scorer as a quarterback. And there's a lot of validity to that.
Totally. It's like sharing the ball and highlighting your talents. Like one thing that Pete Carroll did really well, and we all gave Pete credit that, is he activated the guys' talent. He freed them up mentally or unlocked them and let that one potential shine. And he just did it with 10 guys in a row. And so that offensive series drove down the field, scored, Marshawn got the ball. It was fun. We were there. Hopefully we can unlock individual potentials, and maybe Darnold's that voice. He's a different tone than Geno,
Yep.
Maybe we need that. And it's just exciting because we're going to go after these big bruisers, and it's something that we've been needing to do for a really long time. And it's not flashy, and we got 5 picks, and maybe we use them as trade bait and get a little bit more out of it. Who knows?
Well, appreciate the call, man. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. Let me jump right from you to Scott, who's in D.C. What's up, Scott? Good morning.
Hey, guys. I think you've laid out pretty well, the kind of pros and cons of the moves, but to me, they're just not that relevant if you don't do anything about the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody knows, including Schneider, that that's been the weakness. If you don't have a running game and Darnold is running for his life, none of the other stuff matters. And they just haven't shown the ability to kind of draft linemen in the middle round. So I feel like we ought to take a swing for a proven lineman and spend the money there rather than a Cooper Kupp or somebody else.
Well, so I appreciate the call. And Scott, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. We all know that is still it's not even unspoken. It's spoken. We all know that is still the giant hole in this team. But I don't know if I could say all these moves are irrelevant, because part of the advantage of these moves is that it set the team up with more cap space and more draft picks to try to address that problem in particular. So I don't know. I'm not saying I agree with you, but I can't say they're irrelevant. They're pretty relevant.
Well, they haven't spent the money. Most of the free agent interior linemen are gone.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're talking about the draft, and we don't have the number 6 pick to get Charles Cross. So, the track record's not great on drafting linemen in the 3rd, 4th round.
But they have 3 picks in the first 2.
Maybe run better than Geno. So maybe that'll help out a little bit. But
yeah, I don't know whether I see that. I appreciate the call, Scott, and I've certainly been all over that as well. Just like, hey, look, you got too many excuses for why offensive linemen aren't coming here. You've got to, at some point, bring in some good players. But Tevin Jenkins is out there, and apparently he's going to come visit the Seahawks on Monday. That's good. You got the center from Minnesota, Bradbury, who's likely to be released because they went with somebody else. And apparently Darnold likes him, so maybe there's an opportunity there. And then you don't just have to use 3rd and 4th round picks on guards. I mean, they got the 18 pick. They got 2 picks in the 2nd round, 2 in the 3rd. Brock and I walked through this yesterday and kind of both came out of it with a pretty similar feeling that of those first 5 picks in the first 3 rounds, in some order, you got to go interior offensive line, defensive tackle, interior offensive line again, tight end, which is part of that offensive line in its own way, and then probably corner. But big people, and hopefully 3 of the 5 end up being part of that running game, part of that offensive line if you include the tight end. Absolutely. 866-979-3776. Let me try Shonda, who's in Chicago. Always like when Shonda calls. Good morning, Shonda.
Good morning, Salk. Happy Friday.
Thank you.
I first off wanted to say that I'm glad that the shakeup has happened. Everything that I've heard from all the people who cover the team, it doesn't sound like this was plan A for John Schneider. And so for me, I'm not exactly throwing him a parade for what he's done as far as the pivot, because, I mean, this is what he should do. Like, if you go to someone's house and you break a vase or a vase and you replace it, that's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you get a bunch of kudos for. But my question for you is, what lesson do you think John Schneider is learning a lesson of what offensive players for him? I mean, you had Russell who forced his way out because he didn't like how the offense was being set up. You now have a second starting quarterback that forced his way out because he didn't feel that the offense was being set up for his success. Now you've had one of your starting wide receivers do the same.
That's a great question.
Do you think that John Schneider is seeing that picture flowing together that, hey, what are we missing here that now we...
No, we lost you there, Sean. I don't know what's going on with the phone, but it's a great question. Oh, there you are. You're back. All right, let me answer your question. I don't know the answer to it. It's a great question and one I want to keep thinking about. First, you have to tell me, how do you know the difference between a vase and a vase?
I don't know if I know the difference.
I don't either.
I think people pronounce it differently, but for me, I say vase, but some people say vase.
I think it depends. I think if it's priceless and old and large, it's a vase. But if it's just something you throw flowers in, it's a vase. Like, you're not bringing home hey, somebody got me flowers. Cool, throw it in the vase. Like,
I've never said vase in my life.
no, but it's like a priceless Ming vase, right? Like from years and years ago. That's not a vase from like centuries old. That's a vase. I think some of it has to do with age and value. Anyway, great question about John. I don't know the answer to it, but I love it. Maura, write that down. We got to talk about that on Monday. I think it's a really awesome question that she asks. Is there something to all of these breakups with offensive players, and is it because they don't want to play in quote-unquote outdated or more balanced systems or whatever the case may be? I don't think that's the case with Geno Smith. I don't think that's ultimately what the problem was with DK. Could be wrong. Maybe it is. Maybe DK just wanted to go to a, throw it all around the yard system. You didn't get it in Pittsburgh, that's for sure. They didn't have a quarterback.
Last year's offense was certainly frustrating, especially when he came back from his injury.
Yeah. I don't know. That hadn't dawned on me, but I like the call. I want to think about that, and I want to ask Brock about it. I want to get into that on Monday. Thank you, Shauna. Appreciate it. If Maura is actually sick and we need a fill-in producer, we may call you. That's a pretty good question. That's a pretty good question.
Lord knows what happens if you leave it in the hands of me for a whole show.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. No, we'll bring Shonda in, obviously. We're not going to let you do it. Should we take one more? We'll go to Stanley in Seattle. What's up, Stanley? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Thanks for taking my call. I've got a couple comments and a question. The couple comments are, number one, I'm glad that Geno is gone. I mean, I'm not happy, but I think it was a good move because Geno, as one of the callers said, would never lead you to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, we're going to miss DK Metcalf a great deal. He was a terrific athlete and a good human being. Third, my question is, the right guard, Anthony Bradford, I don't hear anything about him. He and I went to the same high school in Michigan. Is he still on the team, Mike?
Yeah, he's still there. I think he just, kind of lost his job last year, and I'm not sure anybody's all that excited about his future. I think that they would like to, again, improve, upgrade at that position. So appreciate all the calls today. Patrick is giving us an answer here that a vase is glass, a vase is ceramic and handmade. That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, okay. But even just like a cheap ceramic one, that's still considered a vase? I guess it's not handmade at that point. Like if you buy it at Crate and Barrel, it's not handmade. Is it a vase? There's got to be a size element
Never really
to
thought
it.
about it this much.
There's got to be a size element more. It's all about the size. Size matters in vases and vases, from what I've been told. We got to get out of here. Maura needs to go sleep. Poor Maura. Gutted through it today. Thank you, Maura, for coming in, even though you're not feeling well.
It's fine.
Lyle obviously needs to go sleep, but for different reasons. I need to go sleep. Heck, it's time to go take a nap. It's Friday. Bump and Stacy are coming up next. We'll see if Cooper Kupp signs within, 5, 10, 20 minutes of their show getting going. Hopefully it does. That'd be awesome because I'd love to come in on Monday and talk about how they got him. We will see you guys Monday morning at 6 a.m. And until then, the hay is in the barn. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2.
Veteran wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling is signing with the Seahawks on a one-year deal worth up to $5.5 million. What do you make of this one?
No, I like it. I'm not mad at this. People are going to be underwhelmed
but this is the type of receiver that you need. 6'4", 206 pounds. You have a big outside receiver that can hold safeties responsible, and I guarantee you they're going to grab a receiver in the draft.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
March is here, and Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have teamed up to take away your car buying madness. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, they have the widest selection of new and certified used inventory and the largest savings in the region. Now that's a slam dunk. The all-star staff at Toyota of Renton and Kirkland will assist you with a test drive, and you can score that car the very same day. Come see for yourself or visit online at toyotaofrenton.com or toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien.
Making fresh produce and food affordable and accessible to all is a mission Safeway is deeply committed to. G. Scott here. Your local Safeway has all the great benefits that SNAP-eligible families love, plus exclusive savings. Right now, save 50% on Fresh Pass memberships, plus get a monthly $5 credit, free unlimited delivery, $10 of free produce, and double rewards. Check out your Safeway For You app for all details and savings, or visit Safeway.com/SNAP for details.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet. And we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place.
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet. And we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place.
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown is disappearing. Hair loss had me feeling like I was losing my identity altogether. Well, I've got some good news. It's a simple one-day treatment that worked for me. The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. It starts growing new hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly memberships. Those can help retain what you have. But what if you want your own natural hair in specific areas like I did? You decide how much, how thick, and where. From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class leading doctors like Dr. Perungo, it's not a maybe your hair will grow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185. Advanced Hair is the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and they are the team that I personally recommend. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
At Chain Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they